All right, welcome in everybody. It is here at 6:41 in the evening, and we are live with tornado coverage just off towards our west. I'm meteorologist Matt Wintz. I need a less cheerful opening. I'm a little bothered by that. I need something that just gets right to the point, but I also want to let you know what you're watching. So this is Region Weather Live. We're doing special coverage for the severe weather that we've been talking about occurring here this evening. I mean, we've been talking about this for some time. Now, in terms of big picture, I want to start with that. We'll dive into the details in terms of the storm that has a tornado on the ground just off towards our west near Kankakee right now. Notice the big picture, though, as we're zoomed out. We've been fairly quiet here across Northwest Indiana so far. All right, that's to be expected. Our activity, we were thinking 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Some of the models showing 4, and they did get going sooner than that, but we're not being impacted by any of these storms until right about now. I mean, we're starting to see some of this activity moving in. In terms of the general activity with the storm system, though, notice there are numerous supercells that have developed. This is really the big one right now that's pushing into Northwest Indiana, but we've got numerous out towards the west. These are slow movers. I mean, they're moving anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour, so they're crawling around. So we've got some time to forecast these. The problem is once you get in it, you are in it for a while. And so we'll talk about kind of where these are. I know that we are cold. All right. I had so many people that have not obviously followed our broadcast last couple of days that are saying it's way too cold for severe weather. We had that boundary that dropped south that we talked so much about. I said it was going to be a cold day for Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties north of that boundary. We're in the 30s and 40s. Well, things are going to start to change, not for everyone. But just because you have cold air does not mean you are going to escape the severe weather with this. The atmosphere is structured much differently than what it normally would be. So you too will have severe weather, or at least the potential for it in the northern counties. Here this evening, not all of us are going to see severe weather. Okay, some of us are going to get out of this and say that was nothing. All right, that's how these events go. But there are people in the path of this storm, and I want to get to obviously what's going on near Kankakee right now. So here is the tornado warned storm. This thing has a tornado on the ground with it. There are reports of multiple vortices with this as well. This is your classic textbook storm in terms of how you would draw it up if there were a tornado within it. You can see we've got this area where it kind of wraps in with dry air. That is the dry air that's wrapping into the tornado, which is right about here. Okay, everything kind of wrapping around it. The tornado itself is in here. It's probably rain wrapped right now, but it is on the ground heading out towards the northeast. This is not in Northwest Indiana yet. We do not have this portion of the storm yet. We will likely see a tornado warning issued here shortly, I would imagine, coming into areas of Southern Lake and northern Newton County. All right, those are the counties we put out that last post with. What we are seeing in areas of Southern Lake and northern Newton County is the beginning of the storm. And the beginning of the storm has a lot of lightning with it. It has hail with it as well, and there's heavy rain. And that portion of the storm is moving in now. This part does not have the tornado with it. There won't be a tornado with that. That tornado is going to be on the back southwest side of this storm. All right, this is a classic supercell with a rear flank downdraft, and you've got the shield of precip out ahead of it. Okay. In Crown Point, areas like Cherville, you're just seeing some light raindrops starting as that anvil comes over you. You're starting to get some raindrops right now. That severe threat is low for you with this, okay? This storm should stay south, at least the tornadic part, just south of the Crown Point area. Who is in the path of this storm? So we don't have a warning yet, but I want to make sure we get out ahead of it. Let's see. And I also want to let you know I've got numerous feeds going on. So at times, I do like to talk most of the time. But at times, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of your reports coming in. So make sure that we have a great community feed here in Northwest Indiana. And if you guys have reports with where you are, throw them in there. That way other people can see it, okay? And what I'll end up doing, let me put the comments on there so you can see them in the corner. Keep them clean or else I will shut that down, all right? I'm the parent of 5 kids. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go dad mode on you. But again, I use this for each other to talk about what you're seeing and where you're seeing it. All right. Now, who's in path of the storm right now? We're going to keep our eye on areas again, like Snyder. We talked about that over towards Thayer, Shelby, Lowell. You're going to be really close to this. This will get into Lake Village as well. Lake Village, I'm primarily concerned with you, between you and Schneider right now. You've got a little bit of time. All right. I'm not saying you need to get to your safe place yet, but we will likely have a tornado warning issued for this storm. All right. This storm is out towards the west. It's going over Sun River Terrace right now. This is on the Illinois side of things. South Shore Golf Course. We got Momus there. And then this will eventually get into like the Talmadge Sand Forest Land and Water Preserve, which is just across the border. Okay, those are the areas that are going to be hit by this storm. Now, on the northern side of this, there is a ton of hail, and this hail is approaching, get this, softball size. Okay, that's what these storms are capable of today. It doesn't mean everyone's going to see that, but our atmosphere is structured to produce tornadoes, and it's structured to produce really large hail. And that's what we're seeing with this right now. So that hail is already starting to get into areas of northern Newton County now. Just north of Lake Village, we've got some hail, south of Schneider as well. So right in that little area right now, we're already getting hit pretty hard with this storm. The one thing that's lacking from this, outside of the tornado part of it, there's not a ton of wind reports coming in outside of this main circulation center that we're seeing. I mean, obviously it's windy in that tornado, but outside of that, we're not seeing a ton of damaging wind from this. This is mainly a hail, a heavy rain, a lightning maker, and a tornado maker right now. All right. I did see a couple comments coming in saying, you know, hey, can this tornado last and cross the state line and keep going? Yes, this atmosphere is structured to produce tornadoes that are long lasting. All right. And we talked about that boundary between that cold air that pushed in today and the warm, humid air pushing up from the south. And that boundary is playing a key role because guess where it is? It's right where this tornado is continuing to go here. Okay. On here, I don't know if you can see it. I've got some of the METAR observations, which are basically the official observation sites for weather. Valpo right now at the Porter County Airport, just south of town, sitting at 53 degrees. We're at 39 in Gary. I get it. Your tornado threat in Gary is low. Your hail threat is still there this evening, though. But Valpo, we've got eyes on you because this storm is going to start to head towards the Couts and Wheatfield area eventually. And what we'll be watching is southern areas and even central areas of Porter County, right where that boundary is. We'll have to keep an eye out for it. It's interesting. We've got a 68 in Knox right now. It's nice and warm there. And then you get down towards Rensselaer. You've been in the warm air all day. You're at 68. You've got a high dew point as well. And so that boundary is sitting right about here right now, right where this storm is going. Okay. What I meant to say earlier is I'm in touch with a lot of feeds right now here. I've got a lot of screens going on between radar and velocity. And I also have a feed directly connected with the National Weather Service. So I'm in chat with them. If we have a question to ask the Weather Service, we can certainly throw that in there, but I don't want to bother them because they're the ones that are warning these storms. But I'll be able to see updates in terms of reports and what they're thinking in terms of warning that stuff. All right. So it says we're working up a severe warning for Southern Lake and Northern Newton County for 3-inch hail. All right. So that is kind of what we're dealing with. That's close to softball size, monitoring tornado rotation trends heading towards those counties as well. So you can see it there. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for this storm now for areas of Southern Lake. You probably got the alert on your phone and northern areas of Newton counties. Okay, this severe thunderstorm warning. Notice the tag with that. The Weather Service introduced the tags to storms, so we understand what that impact is. And it's destructive. Okay, that is the tag. This is a destructive storm, and that is for that hail that is moving in. If you're anywhere in advance of this storm, you want to make sure that car, we talked about this again in the broadcast last night. We had a post earlier today about it. Make sure that that car is in the garage or somewhere safe. Carport, whether it be that. You do not want to be caught in this storm. You don't want your car and your property to be caught in the storm either. This will cause damage to roofs. So there's that. We've got sponsors that are all local here at the top of the screen. We don't do it for our sponsors, but they're there for you. They've got all sorts of individual trades. Romans Roofing, they do roofs, and they're a great company here in Northwest Indiana. We've worked with them for a while. Many of you have. This damage to roofs is going to be a real thing down in this area. So there's that. All right, here's what we've got with this storm right now. I mean, just look at this winding up like a top. Now, when we look at this radar, I know it's a bright colored and it sticks out to you, and rightfully so. This is a big storm. But we can look inside the storm as well and see other things. So the other thing I'm going to flip on here, and if you're a weather junkie, you're familiar with these products, but we're going to look at the rotation. And this, we can look inside that same storm and we can look at the wind. And what sticks out to you here? Well, it's this area right here. All right. That's where our tornado is right now. We can also look at something called the correlation coefficient. That's a big weather word. That shows if there's debris in the atmosphere. And I already checked it out. And there is some debris from this as well floating around the atmosphere. So we've got all sorts of just a big issue and a dangerous situation here, still over on the Illinois side of things. But this will be heading in our direction. These things are moving, as I mentioned, 30 to 35 miles per hour. So let's time it out. I'm going to put a little motion on this so we can kind of see the behavior of this storm. The most dangerous part, obviously, is going to be that hail, but it's also going to be that tornado as well. Okay, so just know there's hail within this as well, but let's track that tornado out. So what we'll do, I've already got everything kind of preset here. And what we're going to do is draw this out, and we're going to get some timing on this. So that's where it is right now. And it's heading. Let me make sure I get the direction perfect here. Heading kind of like that. It's kind of wobbling back and forth a little bit, but we'll get this out in advance and we'll kind of zoom in. So these are some of the timings. I love this product that we have, but this is Lake Village. You've got another 19 minutes or so until, we'll say, another 20 minutes or so before this potential tornado or the part of rotation is coming your way. All right, so that gives you about 20 minutes to prepare. Doesn't need to be super scary. All right. You just need to be prepared with this. And so what's that mean? You guys know the drill. Hopefully, center room of your house. Okay. You want to get away from windows within this one. You don't want to be caught outside. Outside, there's no safe place, no matter where you are, underpass, overpass, all that stuff. We don't do that. Okay. So inside a home, you want to be in the interior room. If you have a basement, that's great. Get down to your basement. You want to surround yourselves with basically as many walls as possible. All right. Between you and the outside. Let's say you don't have a basement. That's okay too. All right. You want to get to an interior bathroom if you can. It's not a fashion statement. When I do weather school visits, I always teach the kids during tornadoes, it's not a fashion statement. Doesn't matter what you look like. If you have a helmet at home, that's always a great idea to grab a helmet and put it on, whether it be a bike helmet, football helmet, motorcycle helmet, whatever it is. You want to protect your head. That's your noggin's what you need to protect the most. So there's another tip. And then the final tip that I always give, and again, I was a chief meteorologist down in Georgia for 3 years, and we had 60 plus tornadoes during my tenure down there. And one of the things I learned that you should do is you should put shoes on. When there's a tornado warning and you're heading down to your basement or your center room, you want to get shoes on. Why is that? Well, if worst case scenario, tornado does come through and you've got some issues, right? Tears things up and you're getting out into a debris-filled home, you do not want to have bare feet when there's broken glass and wood and stuff like that. And again, that's not to scare anyone. That's just tips to do. I mean, just do it, right? It doesn't matter. It's not a fashion statement. Get the shoes, get a helmet on, take care of the kids as well, obviously. I mean, they come first. Overall, those are the things that you can do to stay safe and most safe during these storms, okay? So Lake Village, about another 19 or 18 minutes or so. If we are tracking this out a little bit further, I would imagine the storm structure is going to stay together. I can't tell you if that tornado is going to stay together. It may recycle where it lifts for a little bit, then goes back down. We'll see. But this does get out into areas like Thayer in 31 minutes. How about Roselawn? You've got about another 34 minutes or so. Forest City, 38 minutes. Okay, so we've got some time on this. This map right here, though, is showing what looks like a comet. This is literally the ball of wind and that rotation within that tornado that we've got right now. Okay, let me get updated from the National Weather Service, make sure I don't see anything. Multiple funnels extending from the wall cloud just north of Hopkins Park. So there's that. Yeah, this storm is just a doozy. I mean, this is a classic storm. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that track off. We got our times down. Let's go back to reflectivity. So when we look at reflectivity, remember, this shows us basically rain, and it also can detect some hail as well. So there's that. All right, so here's our storm right now. All right, we've got big old hail right now. Let me look at the hail. I got to get into that hail radar. We'll take a look at that. That way we can tell kind of what we're dealing with in terms of large hail. Yikes. I mean, this is just monster hail up to softball size. Yeah, you guys heard that right. And the hail, we're getting observations in radar updates every 5 minutes. The other radars are in sales mode right now, so they're updating every single minute. But this is extremely large hail, large and damaging hail right over Moments right now, and then eventually heading into Schneider. We're starting to get some hail there right now. Lowell, you probably are going to be getting some hail out of this. You may not get the worst of it, but you will get some. I do see some people saying that Crown Point has the sirens are going off in Crown Point. There's no reason that the sirens should be going off in Crown Point right now. They may be. A lot of times what these municipalities and counties do. And I believe Lake County does do that, where the sirens will go off if there's a warning in any part of the county. Here's our new tornado warning. So they did extend the tornado warning. So Lake Village, you're now included in it. This does include Snyder. We're not surprised by this. This isn't new news. We knew this was coming. They do take it all the way down towards the south, down towards Kankakee Sands. Overall, I think the bulk of the storm will miss you there. But again, that's their polygon, which makes total sense. We've got a great National Weather Service here out of the Romeoville area. They do great work over there. I've worked with them for years, and they do an amazing job forecasting and drawing these polygons. So there's that. All right, so just to dissect this storm, all right, here is Lowell right here, okay? I don't know if you can see these words. Hopefully your screen is big enough. That's Lowell up towards the top. Well, I just moved it. And then we've got Snyder right here. Okay, here's Lake Village. In terms of this storm right now, this is the intense hail. See all those purples? That's your intense hail core. That's going to stay on the north side of this whole thing. So that's going to slide something like this. So Snyder, you're going to have some pretty intense hail. You have some now. It'll probably back off for a little bit, and then it'll get real heavy. And that intense hail is on the north side of what is this tornado and this rotation in the wall cloud that we've got right now. Let me see. I just want to see if there's any updates on if this is still on the ground or not. I mean, we need to treat it like it's on the ground. We're not going to treat it anywhere else, but I just want to see if there's any updates on it. I don't see anything. All right. So that's the hail core in terms of that part of the storm. All right. Where's the tornadic part? It's right here. All right. See that little circle right here? We've got this inflow right there. Very strong inflow. This thing is basically sucking wind. I don't want you to do it right now, but if you're in Lake Village right now, if you were, I don't want you to do it, but if you were to go outside, you would feel a strong wind going towards the storm. That is lit. This is crazy, and it gives me goosebumps, but that is the wind getting sucked into that tornado. Okay, that's that tornadoes need to vent. Okay, just like a hurricane does, different ways, different processes. But tornadoes need to vent. They need good airflow. They need air coming in, and obviously to create that wind, they need air going out. So we've got a lot of air venting here. This is venting out, and then we have the venting in right here. So when Lowell and Lake Village, not necessarily Lowell, but more so Lake Village, that air, that wind is blowing towards that tornado. That's what's feeding into that tornado right now. Isn't that creepy? It's Mother Nature's amazing, but it's also, I mean, this is a big storm right here, guys. And you guys know that have been with me long enough. I don't like to hype things. Okay, I hate hype. I hate it. I hate big red drawings and stuff like that, but this storm does deserve hype right here, okay? And you won't hear that from me very often. So here's Lake Village right now. In Lake Village, it is dry, all right? The rain has stopped. It's eerily quiet right now. You hear thunder. There's still lightning around. You hear the thunder from that, but it's quiet right now, all right? You need to, in Lake Village, be in your safe place right now, okay? Get in your safe place. Let's go back to, I want to go back to velocity where this tornado is. All right, so this tornado is likely centered right here. Okay, this is East Baseline Road in the Illinois side of things, and it's heading out towards the east. So let me get to some of these roads. This is a rural area. I get it, but some of you may live here, and I want to make sure that you are in out of harm's way. Let's just say that. All right. So areas this is down by Lake Village. This is west and southwest of town. If you're anywhere on west, these are county roads, west 950 north, west 800 north, west 600 north, and west 700 north. All those roadways, you need to be in your safe place right now. If you're close to that county line between Lake Village and Illinois, you need to be in a safe place, like basement, and get there now, okay? This storm means business. There's likely a tornado on the ground. If not, it's lifted. It'll come back down. It'll likely recycle. This is still showing really good signs of rotation heading in there. If you are in Lake Village itself, all right, please get into your safe place. This storm is heading your way. It's going to take a little bit more time on that, but it is heading your direction. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, taking care of others, and getting there, all right? Wicker Avenue, that is a road that runs north and south. You need to be on your safe place if you're anywhere around that. And then stretching down towards the south, we've got a lot of little places here like Eugene Links Country Club, safe place for you. Conrad Savannah Nature Preserve, anywhere around there. You need to be in a basement or a shelter as well. Okay, and those shelters outside are not going to do it. So this is our big tornado right here. You can see it. We've got a big old circle of wind. Winds, we can actually measure this here. We'll get over it right now. So we've got winds on one side of it, anywhere from 60 to 80 miles per hour. And then on the other side, anywhere from, I mean, we're getting some reports of 60. Basically, this tells you what your gate-to-gate shear is. You can add them together and figure out how fast this thing's spinning. So we're in the 120, 160 mile per hour range in terms of this thing. But still, all right. So those are my folks down to the south. Let me speak to everyone else. All right. I know a lot of other people wondering what's happening in my community. You know, it's thundering up here, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I totally get it. This is our main storm right now. And this is kind of what surprised me. The modeling, as we were looking at the modeling earlier, we were looking at, you know, the potential for multiple supercells to develop, and in the potential that we'd be dealing with 3 or 4 of these this evening. We're not done yet. All right. But this thing is really stealing the show. It really is. A lot of action out towards the west. You can see areas of Illinois obviously picking up, you know, a lot of supercell action there. But for us here in the region, this is really it right now. And we're going to keep our eye on this. It doesn't mean we're done after this, but this is going to be the big show. So if you're in areas out in advance of this, I want to talk about kind of who's going to get hit by this and who's not with this initial batch. Notice this storm continues to track kind of like this. All right, so this is kind of the direction we're going with this. So this brings it into some of the bigger towns. We've got Couts, Wheatfield. You are in the path of the storm, so make sure you are paying attention to this one. Wanata as well. Hanna, North Judson getting in areas of Stark County, like Knox will be picking up this severe storm as it heads east. I don't see it weakening either. Now, what we've got is that boundary in place. Remember, we're dealing with that cold air. So that cold air came in. We've got a frontal boundary that's sinking something like this right now. It's kind of just south of Valpo. You're right on the line. And then it goes like this, okay? All these areas off towards the north, it's still freezing cold, okay? Because we've got that air coming off the lake. So you notice this storm is trying to develop other storms off of it, but they're kind of running into this cold air as of right now with this storm. And we're not dealing with the severe part of it. They're not developing much further. They're becoming very elevated. However, this storm and the way this setup is with these supercells, they love boundaries, and this boundary is still there, and it's likely going to hug that boundary and kind of waffle its way along it. And that boundary, what I mean by that is that cold air where it meets the warm air. We have a stalled out front, which is now a warm front lifting to the north. This thing will likely hug that warm front as it continues out towards the east. It would follow that trajectory we drew. But overall, we're looking at, you know, obviously where that line is, that's where the warm front is as well. Okay. All right. So if someone's just joining us right now, a couple of you are, we have an observed tornado. This is a tornado warned storm. This is, we'll get you some of the stats on this. You can see this is something you need to take cover for. It's a PDS storm. That's the kind of the ultimate warning that they give at the National Weather Service, because this has the observed tornado with it. It also has up to 4-inch hail, which is softball size. I mean, this is as bad as a storm gets here in Northwest Indiana. And again, we've got northwestern areas of Newton County and southwestern areas of Lake County. That is our preference zone right now for where this storm is going. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located over Hopkins Park, which is moving east about 25 miles per hour. So this is a slow mover. Weather Service says you're in a life-threatening situation. This isn't to hype it up. It is. All right. This is a big storm. You know the drill. Lake Village around 7:05 p.m. is what we're thinking in terms of timing here. So real shortly. It's getting there right now. So that's something that we need to obviously address here. Okay. So we've got hail off towards the north. Let's pause the radar. We'll get the motion out of here. We've got extreme hail right now. Moving into the Lowell area. Heads up, you've got hail. Your tornado threat in Lowell right now is low. Okay. This tornado is going to stay south of you as it looks right now, but Schneider and Lake Village, heads up. This tornado is heading your way, okay? And it's heading your way shortly. You should already be in your safe place right now. If you have friends and family down in this area, make sure you shoot them a text. Make sure that they're ready for this as we go through the next 10, 15 minutes or so. This thing is really going to be howling in. It's got to be so weird in Lake Village right now. And do I have anyone in Lake Village that's watching right now? Let's see, Mark, I see your comment is starting to hail in Lowell right now. Is there anyone in Lake Village? If you do, it's got to be so eerie right now because there's nothing happening outside. There's nothing. You hear thunder. You've got the creepy clouds coming in now that the sun's setting, tougher to see. But this tornado is on your doorstep, just out towards the west. And it's that calm before the storm that you hear. It's that eerie silence. And that's got to be what we're hearing right now in Lake Village. All right, we've got Ashley right now in Lake Village. Ashley, hopefully you're in your safe place right now. We'll keep that going. Okay, Grocer Banks in Lake Village as well. I saw that comment. We've got a couple other people in there as well. Yeah, Stephanie says it's very eerie and very calm. That's what we're dealing with right now. Let me go back to the velocity. I do want to cover kind of where this rotation is. I've got good news. All right, good news is the rotation's not quite as tight, so this thing may be loosening up a bit. Bad news is it's still strong enough to be producing a tornado, okay? We have no idea what kind of strength this tornado is going to be. A lot of people will say, in advance, is it an EF3? Is it an EF2? We don't know until the Weather Service goes out the next day and they survey it. They survey the damage to figure it out. So that's not something we can call in the moment, even by looking at it. But overall, this was a strong tornado out towards the west, and this would likely still be a decent-sized tornado right now. All right, Lake Village, this thing is about over you right now. It's just off towards your west. We're about to get another radar scan. That tornado would be right in here, okay? Here's Lake Village. This is the little town, the little downtown proper there. And this storm is about to head over you right now, okay? So let me know what you guys are experiencing. We're sending prayers your way. It's not often that we have a slow-moving big tornado that's been confirmed that's moving over somewhere. A lot of them are radar indicated, and this one is definitely a confirmed one that we've had for quite some time back in the Illinois side of things that's been crawling along. So there's that. So it's across the state line right now, just reading some of the Weather Service stuff. Very large tornado still on the ground. About 10 minutes ago over Hopkins Park. That's from Storm Chasers. Multiple poles and lines on the ground with this one. Still seeing reports that this tornado is on the ground, okay, from telephone and NWS chat. So this is a big time tornado that is heading right into Lake Village right now. Okay, my folks in Lake Village, obviously you're in your safe place right now. Remember, helmet and shoes. You need both of those on. If you have the chance, not a bad idea to take a mattress or something else and put it over your head. How are you going to go get a mattress right now? I get it. But if you have one laying around, take it in your safe room. I'm a parent of 5, as I mentioned, and they're all littles. And I get it. It's scary for the kids. If you can keep this as not scary for the kids as possible, it does not have to be a scary thing. You just need to be protected from this, okay? So make sure that they have their stuffed animals with them. Bring their blankets with them. You can make it kind of a fun thing like, hey, we're going to go down to the basement right now. Big storms. We're going to make sure we're safe, but we can play some games, get some card games or something going on. But you need to be in a safe place with as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Okay. Here's the latest scan right now. Still seeing that strong center of circulation just west of town. The other side of things right over Lake Village. All right. I'm afraid we have a tornado right over Lake Village right now. I mean, this is still showing a really good sign of rotation as it continues to head out towards the east. I would also imagine, and I would hope the Weather Service is going to extend this tornado warning. All right, this is going to get out of this polygon pretty quickly. And again, that's one of the things that I love to do is radar analysis. I do radar analysis and game delays and rain delays for MLB. Yes, I do that now. I know it's like a weird thing to say, but what I have to do with that is I have to analyze what that radar is going to do. And I'm not just talking if it's moving this way, I know it's going to keep moving that way, but I like to forecast where it's going to pulse up, where it's going to pulse down. The other thing is we like to issue warnings kind of before the Weather Service does. And so let's go ahead and do that. And we'll kind of draw this out. We'll probably have an extended tornado warning. I would guess something like this, perhaps. I feel like it's a little bit too far south with where they had. I would imagine this area is going to be next in terms of that tornado warning. Let's see. And someone's asking the Weather Service. Indiana Department of Homeland Security is asking if they're extending the tornado warning. So let's see if they do extend it or not. I'm getting a phone call. I don't know what that is. So we'll see if they extend it or not. But either way, this area right here that I just drew that box around, that area needs to be in a tornado warning right now. And maybe even a little bit further north, maybe more something like this up there. Okay. So what area is that? Can you guys see? Hopefully you can see on the map what those towns are, but we've got Shelby in there. All right. We've got Thayer in there as well. Those are really the two main towns along, what is that? County Road 300 East. Heading up into Thayer. Those two areas, you need to be in your safe place right now ahead of this storm, okay? The rotation's gotten a little bit more broad. That's good. See how it's kind of widened out a little bit? That's not always a good thing, especially when you already had a tornado on the ground. We hope it's not getting bigger and wider, but overall, this thing is kind of extending itself out a little bit. So there's that. All right, getting word right now. Hold on. Okay, new tornado warning. Okay, is this it? Is this the one that we need? Northeastern Newton County, South Central Lake County, Northwestern Jasper County. So they went ahead and extended it. Let's see what the box looks like. Is it like what we drew? Let's see. All right. And they're saying at 7:09, we know that a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is on the ground located near Lake Village, moving east at 25. It's still a PDS. Take cover now. Areas in the path of this: Roselawn 720, Shelby 725. Okay, none of that is a surprise. That's what we've been talking about here. I'm not getting it to pop up on our screen though, so there's that. Hopefully it's just loading here. Sometimes they do that. They issue it. We'll get word first in the chat. They'll issue the tornado warning. Then you'll get it on your phone, usually 30, 40 seconds later. And then usually it'll show up in my system and all the systems that are gathering that stuff, usually within a minute and a half or so. And I do not see this one popping on there yet. So I hope I don't have a data lag, because that is the last thing we need here. Okay, let's see. So here's the radar right now. Yeah, everything's updated. We've got just large hail falling. Lowell's still getting some hail. The biggest hail is just south of you right now. And then Lake Village, obviously dealing with that large tornado on the ground right now. Let's time that out. Forest City, you're in that mix as well. They'll get there eventually. So let's time a couple things out here. We're going to time out the rotation first. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Siri is like thinking I'm talking to it, and she's like, who do you want to call right now? I don't want to call anyone right now. Does yours ever do that? Your devices ever do that? I'm like, no one said anything close to that. But anyway, there's that. Okay, I'm going to slow down the time of this. All right, that way we can get a more accurate description. I'm going to go 30. Okay, it's moving at 25 miles per hour. The tornado is. I'm going to go 30 just to give us kind of an earlier heads up. Is that okay? So tornado sitting right about here right now. All right, let me draw. Where are we at? Here we go. Okay, tornado's right about here. We're going to draw this out. Something like that is the direction we're heading. Maybe a little north of that. All right, so we're talking Thayer, another 12 minutes or so. Okay, the Sun Aura Resort, if anyone's there, my goodness, 12 minutes for you. How about Ponderosa Sun Club, 13 minutes. Frankie's at 11. Roselawn in about 16 minutes or so. Lake Holiday Camp. Hopefully you know these areas. These are landmarks. About 17 minutes till this storm reaches you. Okay, so those areas are going to be impacted by this tornado. Eventually getting out towards Deer Park, we've got about another 25 minutes on that. So that's in terms of the tornado. I do want to go back to the hail, because a lot of us are getting impacted by hail right now. Let's see, radar signature for damaging tornado now. Lake Village heading towards Roselawn. We know that. Just want to make sure. Yeah, Downers Grove got baseball size hail. Severe storms continue tonight. We got that. We'll talk about, once we get a little break here, guys, we'll talk about kind of what I'm expecting rest of the night. Okay. All right. So let's get this off the screen. I'm going to close this out. Let's get to the hail real quick. Look at this storm. I mean, this storm is just massive. So tornadoes here. Okay. And then you get all this hail on the northern side. This is all hail and heavy rain. Just incredible there. I am not getting that new warning. I don't know why it's not popping on the screen. And I don't like that at all. I don't know why. Everything else is updating just fine, but that is not. So we may need to do a restart on this program here. We'll see. Okay, here's your hail radar. I mean, this is massive hail. Anything in this white is either baseball size or higher. So we're talking baseball to softball size hail moving through right now. Lowell, you've had it. The worst is, this is probably a little bit further east as well, but just incredible stuff here with this storm as it continues out towards the east. There you go. There's my new warning. All right. I don't know if maybe they just didn't hit send on it, or if that's something on my end, but we'll see. It just went away. What are we doing? It could be software stuff too, and that's the last thing we need right now, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me do this real quick, guys. I'm going to restart this. All right, this is crucial that we get the latest information out, and if this thing's acting up, we're going to have some problems. You're going to see me. Okay, blah. All right, the last thing you want to see. Give me a quick second to get this thing rebooted again. We'll get it up and running. I remember when we first started. I mean, this was like 5 or 6 years ago. It's still not showing up. 5 or 6 years ago when we first started region weather, it started to get like into the coverage. We've been doing this for 12, 15 years or so. But when we first started it, I remember I had the worst internet ever, and I was trying to do storm coverage, and it was awful because everything would just glitch the whole time. Um, I'm not sure why that is not loading the tornado warning. And I don't like, it's driving me nuts right now. I'm going to change something real quick, and we're going to go and figure out in display settings here. We're going to go to this, see if this changes it up. I am going to change, since it's nighttime, I'm going to change this over to this darker thing. All right, I'll show you guys here. Here we go. We're back at the radar again, but there we go. And we got our new warning too. Looks like everything updated. All right, we're going dark box here. Okay. This is going to show, I know it doesn't look as good and there's a lot of words on here, but shows the storm so much better, especially at night. We're going to take a look at this and kind of look at it a little differently here. Okay. All right. So there's our hail. Let's get back to our radar again. Make sure everything's loading. There you go. So the only thing that's not loading is the warnings right now. Which is kind of what I need. But we know there's a tornado warning that exists out in advance of this. All right. And that tornado warning looks a little something like this. Okay. Just like that. All right. So that's what we're dealing with right now in terms of the warning. In terms of where the storm is right now, Lake Village, you can about get out of it, your safe spot right now. Give it another 5 to 10 minutes. Let me let me know what you had in terms of those folks that were there in Lake Village. You're about, Joshua, I see your comment on there asking, is Lake Village good? The storm is just about through you right now. The worst is east of you. I'd give it another couple minutes. Let this thing get a little bit further east. Thayer is in the path of this right now, and Shelby. Those are the two main towns that are in the path of this dangerous tornado right now, okay? Outside of that, we've got Forest City. You're going to be up next. DeMont, an early heads up for you. I know we've got a lot of region weather folks in DeMont. Just an early heads up for you that this storm is coming your way. All right, we'll see how it evolves, as now it's starting to interact a little bit more with that boundary, with that cold air where it hits the warm air. That doesn't mean it weakens it. It just means it could change the structure up a little bit. So we'll keep an eye and see what's going on with that. Off towards the north, boy, this storm is starting to really spread out. And so we're seeing a bigger area of real estate now that's being covered by this storm. And so what we are seeing in Lake County, I know a lot of you folks in Lake County, right? Biggest population in Lake County right now out of our whole entire coverage area. We get it. Maryville, you're seeing some rain right now. All right. St. John, a little bit of rain as well. You got some downpours. There's some lightning down near south. If you're worried about a tornado in Maryville or St. John, don't. There's not a tornado threat right now from this storm for you. That tornado threat is down towards the south. It's down here. Okay. This will get into areas of northern Jasper County. This will get into southern areas of Porter County. That's why the National Weather Service went ahead and said, maybe we shouldn't do severe thunderstorm watches. We should do tornado watches for Lake and Porter County, because that southern half of the county is going to be impacted. If you remember our broadcasts that we talked about the last 2 nights, we talked about where that boundary was, and that boundary is right about here right now, something like this. All right, so this storm, this is where the colder air is up north. This is where your warm, humid air is coming in from the south. And this storm is going to likely ride this boundary. It's probably going to do something like this, okay? It's not going to go in a straight line. But what we are seeing in Maryville right now are some downpours, Crown Point, some rain around. You hear the thunder and lightning. But then once you get down Cedar Lake, it starts to pick up a little bit. But once you get down towards Southeast Grove, once you get down towards Orchard Grove and Dinwiddie, getting into range line, that's where you hit this storm. All right. And that's where you've got the lightning. We've got some hail within that as well. And then you go a little bit further south along I-65, perhaps. I don't encourage you to do that right now. You get into some of the huge hail with that. Shelby right now, some very large hail for you. We've got hail still falling back near the Schneider area. DeMont, perhaps some small hail falling already. That's where the meat of the storm system is. All those little pluses you see on there, those are all current lightning strikes or lightning strikes within the last 5 minutes. So there's lots of lightning with it as well. And then you get south of that near Roselawn, and it dries out. It's like you're out of the storm, but you're not. That's the bad part of the storm, because you've got this tornado sitting off towards your west, okay? So let's update where that tornado is, kind of what we're doing right now. I'm going to quickly show the hail on here. There's your hail, which is not updated on there. That hail is right where we talked about where it was, right in this area right here. This is our hail core: Orchard Grove, Shelby, Forest City, Rangeline, and Dinwiddie. All right. I don't need a radar to work. We're just going to analyze it ourselves. All right. We don't need software to do that. I could use it though for the warnings. My goodness, what is going on with this software today? It's got to be some kind of bug or something. It's nothing on our end because we're still getting live data from this, and everything's connected and doing just great right now. So I don't know what's going on with that. Apologize for the warning boxes not drawing themselves properly on here. But in terms of our tornado, we can track where that is right now. All right. We don't need the software for that. So here you go, Lake Village. I can go ahead and clear you out right now. So if you're, obviously, if you were in your safe spot, you can go ahead and come out of that right now, analyze what's going on. Hopefully you don't have anything going on in there. So keep an eye on it. Okay. This storm continues out towards the east. Roselawn, you are next. Here is where our center circulation is right here. All right. Just to the south and west of Thayer, we still have pretty decent rotation happening within this storm. Okay. You've got obviously the reds and the greens. You guys know what those are. Remember, green is air and wind going towards the radar, which is back in Romeoville. The reds that you see is wind that's going away from the radar. When you have a tight couplet like this, obviously air doing that in a small space, it's going to spin. If you put a straw between your hands and did that same thing, that straw would spin, and that's what we've got going on here. So that's where your tornado is right here. Roselawn, probably another minute or so. You need to make sure you're in your basement or your center room right now. Thayer, same for you. You've got the hail right now. Roselawn's gone kind of quiet outside the lightning. You're going through what Lake Village went through. But overall, that rotation is going to be working over you shortly. Let me put it into motion so you guys can get kind of a read for where this is going. Look what popped back on our tornado watch or our tornado warning box. Thank goodness. But you can see this area of rotation. Not quite as tight as it was where there was that large tornado on the ground back in Illinois, but we still likely have a tornado with this one. All right. Let's see. Some updates here coming in from the Weather Service. Now that it's dark, it's getting tougher to see. So all the storm chasers, there were so many storm chasers out with this action here today, and they're still out there right now. But we're getting less and less of a visual of what these storms are doing. Thank goodness for the later sunset. I mean, that helps out. But overall, we're getting kind of a less of a vision for that. So there's that. All right. So there's our rotation right now. Roselawn, Thayer, you're in the path of that immediately. Need to be in your safe place. Let's treat this like there's a tornado on the ground. There probably still is with this. An early heads up for areas like DeMont. We talked about that earlier, so I guess it's not any earlier than earlier. But DeMont heads up for you. You've probably got another 15 minutes or so, I would say. I would start to collect the things now, make sure the car is where it needs to be. Actually, don't go outside. You've got lightning. Just make sure everything's in place. Get your safe spot ready to go. If you've got the kids, gather them up. I know it's going to be a late night for a couple of you, if bedtime's now or bedtime's coming up next couple hours. Again, parent here, so I'm going to speak parenting advice to the parents out there. But just, make sure you're safe with this thing. That's the most important thing. Deer Park, you're in the path of this storm as well. This will get over towards the Kersey area and Stoutsburg, all right, all in the path of this storm. Virgie will keep an eye on you, and Nyman will keep an eye on that spot too, okay? So we're talking areas of Jasper County right now that are going to be in the path of this storm. All right, outside of that, I'm not seeing any rotation. One thing I was watching here kind of quietly, I'm watching with my eyes without saying it, all right? Again, parenting thing again. But anyway, we started to develop a little appendage here. All right, we started to develop kind of a secondary area of spin there. I want to say this kind of took it over. But do you notice the difference? Do you notice the difference in what this storm is still a powerhouse right now? But do you notice the difference in what it looks like now versus what it looked like back in Illinois with that when the big tornado was on the ground? We had more of a hook. There's still inflow here, but it's not wrapping around. You don't have this comma-shaped classic curl that we have when there are very large tornadoes on the ground, or at least the potential for a very large wall cloud with it. So we've lost that structure. It's starting to fill in just a little bit. It's just becoming a little bit more cellular. Oftentimes what these systems do is they recycle. You hear about that all the time. So it's I don't know how else to say it, but overall this thing would kind of, it's kind of like if you push your hand through a bathtub and you get those eddies. I always say that, you get the swirls in there. Sometimes they stop and then they kind of grab themselves again. And that's kind of what we're looking at here, where this whole thing could be kind of recycling along the whole thing. All right. So there's that. All right. So in terms of our forecast here, as we go over the next couple hours or so, I don't think we're done with the storms yet. This is really our big storm right now. You can kind of see that boundary lying through here. See how it extends out towards the east. This is kind of what we're watching right here is this main storm. There's not much outside of that until you get out towards the west. And kind of how I see this going, again, radar analysis time. You guys, you're getting inappropriate in here. Seriously, I'm seeing a bunch of the comments on here. If some of you could grow up, that'd be great. I'm going to take the comments off the screen just because that's inappropriate. But go to Ryan Hall's feed or something like that. But we don't need that in here. Okay, we're trying to keep people safe, and we don't need just your immature comments. So there's that. Again, dad mode. You're in trouble. So get out of here. All right. Anyone else? Chime in if you feel like it. In terms of your forecast, though, here the rest of the evening, this is what we're going to be watching. All right, we've got our giant storm here. Okay, we're going to keep an eye on that, obviously. Once that heads through, though, I don't see a lot of development here because the atmosphere is not worked over yet, but the attention is starting to shift up towards the frontal boundary now. So you see all this action out towards the west. This I could see filling in and becoming more of a line that rolls through the area again later this evening. So we're not done with severe weather yet, but I do think we're going to catch a break after this main storm moves through until this action eventually gets here. It's going to be a stormy overnight. I think our severe chances go, in my mind, till probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll see. But overall, I don't think we're done with the severe threat yet. So just buckle up. Make sure you've got a way to get warnings overnight tonight, but we'll get you through the storm at least. And that way you guys can start planning for bedtime and stuff like that. And I want to make sure we're ready to go the rest of the night too. All right. So here's our storm right now. We've got, let's see. Oh man. All right. So Portage. So here's an update. The Lowell fire was just dispatched to cover Lake Township, stating that a tornado hit their station. All right. So, Lake Township, it looks like their fire station got hit by the tornado with that. Anyone else in Lowell? Give me, again, I'm going to be watching this time. Anyone in Lowell, did you get any reports of anything? I think it was just hail up there. Anyone in Lake Station, what did you report? What did you see coming through? Is there any damage that you're seeing right now? Make sure you do it safely if you're heading on out, okay? I'll be watching for those, and then we'll keep an eye on, obviously, what's going on the radar right now. So, again, if you have any reports out of those areas, let me know, okay? Vince, you're welcome. Yes, you're welcome, Vince. I see your comment there. You're welcome for that. Okay. All right. Let's dive into kind of where we are right now and talk about this. So again, here's our storm. All right. Here's the structure of it. Okay. We've got DeMont right here. You're getting hail right now. Roselawn right here. This is where our tornado would be, right in here between Forest City and Roselawn. All right. So DeMont, you're up next for this. Okay. Safe place, center room, as many walls between you and the outside as possible if you're in DeMont. Deer Park, same thing for you right now. Forest City, same thing for you. You guys should all be in your safe place right now. Out ahead of it, Stoutsburg, Wheatfield, Dunsbridge, St. Pierre. Yeah, you're getting a storm right now. It's starting to rain. It's getting a little scary. I get it. Tornado threat is low right now for you. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, we've still got some time before this moves in. But that tornado warning continues out towards the east into the Stoutsburg area, Kersey as well. And that obviously includes DeMont. That expires in another 46 minutes, so we've still got some time. Let's get into the velocity on this. Let's look at where that rotation's doing. So there's your rotation right now. Again, we've got a fairly slow mover moving east about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So that's a slow one. Some of the most challenging storms are the ones that are moving 60, 65 miles per hour. We have a lot of issues with those because those move so fast and develop so fast, and we have a lot of issues kind of keeping up with them, all right, in terms of what they're doing. This one, at least we're able to track. So here's our rotation right now over Roselawn, as I mentioned. Still seeing pretty good gate-to-gate shear on that, pretty good couplet on that as well. Another thing that we need to kind of keep in mind with these storms, and especially as we continue throughout the rest of the evening, is that they're getting a little bit more away from the radar. All right, our radar is back in Romeoville. And remember, radar beams going up into the sky. But as you get further away with the curvature of the Earth, yes, the Earth is curved, that beam is going higher and higher in the sky. If you can imagine Earth's curve like this, beam getting higher and higher. And so what you have as you get further away from a radar, as that beam's getting higher into the cloud, you're not getting quite the read of what's happening from cloud down to ground as you do as you're closer to the radar. Okay. So this might start to look a little bit weaker as it heads out towards Wheatfield, et cetera, but we may be getting a read more higher up in that wall cloud or that tornado versus truly at the ground. And so keep that in mind. This is going to start to change a little bit. We don't always get the most accurate representation of these storms further out if you're far away from Romeoville. So areas like LaPorte County and Stark County, we tend to not get a great read there because you're between Romeoville's radar and you're between Northern Indiana's radar as well. It's kind of like a gray area where we have to kind of do our own thing. Okay. Rotation still is there. It's not as tight as it used to be, though. I mean, so here's your rotation. It's pretty broad. I mean, this is a big area. Roselawn, you are right in the middle of a swirl right now. Okay. And that's likely still producing a tornado. Let me see what else we got. Report. 30 minutes ago, there was water on the road, so we're talking flooding. That's back on I-55. Tornado threat continues, says National Weather Service. This is a fresh update in the last 5 seconds. Tornado threat continues for the supercell moving eastward into Jasper County. Most likely, Area 4 tornado has just moved near Roselawn and is nearing DeMont in the next few minutes. All right, that's everything we've been talking about. I always love when the Weather Service says something that we just said, all right? And again, that just tells you that we're all on the same page, and that's what you want meteorologists to be, is on the same page. So here's your storm right now. Roselawn, again, you're in it. This is heading this direction. Here's DeMont right here. Here's Stoutsburg. Here's Kersey. Here's Deer Park. All right. Here's Nyman. All three of those areas. Here's Forest City. Forest City, you're going to get brushed by this. All those areas are in the path of this storm that has produced a tornado on the ground, and we need to assume it's still producing a tornado on the ground. Okay. So let's see. Now, that's so funny. I saw a really great question, and it's from someone I know. It's Josh Pate. Hello, Josh. It's funny. I saw your question and I didn't see who it was from. You brat. All right. He's asking a great question. How do we feel about the environment this storm is moving into? So, Josh, I'm glad you brought up that question. This environment is still just as favorable for storms and for this tornado to continue on the ground as it was further off towards the west. I am not concerned with the storm weakening much as it heads out towards the east. This is south of the front. So, again, we've got our front somewhere in there. And again, this is south of the front. So we've got the humid air around. We've got temps in the upper 60s, dew points in the 60s as well. And so this storm still has an environment that can produce that spin and keep this thing going. All right. So areas like Wheatfield, heads up to you. I don't think this thing's going to weaken. We may see it kind of recycle and look a little different in its nature and the kind of the way it looks. But overall, we still have that tornado threat for you as well. So great question, Josh. I appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in here tonight. All right. How about our northern counties? Let's get back to the reflectivity again, because you're being impacted by this storm. Valpo's getting some rain from this. I get it. Coutts starting to pick up in intensity. You've got some rain around. How about Hebron right now up into the Boone Grove area? You likely have a little bit of hail mixed in from Range Line up into the Hebron area. Getting into Coutts, we probably have some hail mixed in with that rain right now. That major hail core is right here, though. You can see that reflectivity in the purples right now. We've got large hail, probably still on the order of baseball to maybe softball size. It has gone down a little bit, but does it matter? I mean, if you're getting baseball size hail or softball size hail, does it really matter? I mean, both are going to cause some destructive damage to your yard. So again, as I mentioned, we've got, and again, this isn't a shout out to our sponsors, but I've got everything covered for you up above. After this is over with, we've got Service Master Restore by Tecton. They deal with, if you've got flooding or an emergency, they deal with that. You can reach out to them. We've got Romans Roofing. They do roofs. They're going to be busy after this with the storm damage, but they're an amazing company. They're vetted by us. We've got Kraz Construction. They're one of our newest sponsors. They do siding. They do windows and doors as well. You've got FBI Buildings. They do pole barn construction. In frame buildings. They do residential, commercial. We've got T&T Tree Service if you have trees that are down. And we've got PSA. PSAs are public service adjusters. If you have an insurance claim, which a lot of you are going to have after this, that's the last thing you want to think about. But if you have an insurance claim, you can either go to your insurance company and they'll give you the runaround and say, oh, we're so busy, we've got so much. Then they'll give you not as much money. Or you go to public service adjusters. They come out, they're local licensed insured. They'll take and survey everything, and they'll submit the package to your insurance company, and they'll do the back and forth, and they'll get you more dollars than you ever could get yourself. So really great sponsors up above us. Obviously, that can help in storm situations. We wanted to pair them up with weather. It just makes sense, right? So lots of hail on the leading edges, and I can only help but think about the hail damage from this one. Okay. So in terms of the forecast right now, DeMont, you're starting to quiet down right now. And again, we're getting ready for the center of circulation to move in. So let's get back to, we know we've got the hail on the north side. Let's get back to our velocity once again. I believe we're waiting on an update from this. I can just tell this kind of looks like the one we had a minute or so ago. So we'll let it update, but we still have that area rotation moving in. So Roselawn right now, that center of that circulation with that rotation around you where that tornado could be, it passed over you, but you're on the backside of it right now. So it's not safe to come out yet of your safe spot. Forest City, again, safety spot for you. Deer Park, DeMont, you need to still be there. The storm is not quite over in terms of that center of circulation. It is not quite over DeMont yet, okay? It will be shortly. Give it another minute or so. Let me time this thing out. I'm going to put some motion on it. I want to get ahead of this. As we have been, I think we've been doing a nice job getting ahead of these communities, giving them a heads up. But I want to get out ahead of this and see who's coming up next in terms of where this is going. All right, so here we go. Let's draw it on this last scan. This is why meteorologists take art class. So we can do stuff like this. All right, and it's kind of going like that. All right, I'm going to draw this way out. I would imagine it's going to turn a little bit more like this, to be honest, because that it's going to start to interact with that boundary a little bit more. All right, so here's some timing on it. DeMont, it's there basically. Kersey, we're talking 6 minutes or so. Stoutsburg, this is 10 minutes. What are we talking about in 10 minutes? We're talking about when the center of circulation from this rotation is going to get over you, when this tornado essentially is going to get over you. Okay. So Stoutsburg, another 10 minutes or so. How about Wheatfield? A lot of region weather folks in Wheatfield. I know that 16 minutes or so for you. Okay. Getting into the Teft area, 24 minutes, Dunn's Bridge in 25 minutes. And then it gets into areas of Stark County. The storm is heading your way eventually, another half hour or so in the San Pierre area. And then eventually, we're going to be dancing around with the Riverside area, English Lake, North Judson, if it holds together, which I do expect it to hold together quite nicely here. Modeling has picked up on that as well. That's not just my take on it. The modeling has had these things going, the whole length of Northwest Indiana as it continues to move through. So there's that. All right, let's give kind of an update to everyone else on what's going on. I do want to kind of look bigger picture as well at some of these storms out towards the west. And so here's what we've got right now. Our giant storm right now, it is just raking hail through northern Jasper County right now. This is just a hail maker. Some of that getting into southern Porter County as well. It's not as large, but you still have some decent hail. Heads up to Couts. We've got decent hail moving in right now. Boone Grove, you're on the tip of it, but you're getting heavy rain and lightning. This is a decent storm even for you folks, even though we're not seeing the tornado part of it or the huge hail part. Hebron, you had a pretty decent storm out of this, likely got some hail as well. We've got this other appendage. Let me look at this one more time. We've got kind of another appendage here. See that little area I circled? I'm going to kind of freshen this up. This little area right here we'll need to watch. That could keep the heavy rain going here and perhaps bring more hail into these areas. That one's got a little bit more northerly trajectory to it. Off towards the north of that, we do have rain and it's storming. We've got a little bit of lightning with this one getting up into the St. John area, Cedar Lake, Crown Point. You've got a storm moving through. We've got to keep an eye on these northern storms. And here's why, because, and again, we talked about this earlier, those areas that are cold right now. Look at this. We're sitting in the Lansing area. We're sitting at 40 degrees. Gary Airport right now, we're at 39. Okay. We still have the cold air around. Valpo, you are now up to, how about that, you guys? Valpo is now up to 66 again. So you are now in the warm air, and LaPorte, you're back in the warm air as well. That tells me our boundary has gone north like this, and then it probably does something like that. So this is where our cold air is now north of that line. And now we've got the warm, humid air, which is making that push north with this storm. So what does that do? That kind of changes the game. And we knew this thing was going to be fluctuating, and we knew it was going to push north throughout the evening. I thought it would push north a little later than this. I thought it would wait for a different storm, not this one. But with that boundary pushing north now, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can kind of gather what's going on with this area. So let me redraw that. All right, here's where our boundary is now. Okay, here's where this front is. It's just incredible. It's cold north of it, and it's warm south of it. Something like that. Shoot, let me redraw real quick. All right, so I'm going to make a point here. Here's where it is, something like that. Okay, if you're north of this, so we're talking Hammond, Griffith, Gary, Whiting, East Chicago, Ogden Dudes, Portage, Chesterton, Michigan City, up towards New Buffalo or so. If you're north of that, you're in those areas, it's still cold outside, right? You step outside, it still feels cold. And you're like, we're not going to get any storms. You have a decent hail threat. And that hail threat's coming from these storms right here near Crown Point. I could see these developing a little bit further and getting some hail out of it. All right. But your tornado threat, here's my point. Your tornado threat is fairly low. All right. It's still very low. However, this boundary is now further north. And anywhere south of that boundary or that front, we have a tornado risk. All right. So that now brings tornado risk. Not imminently, all right, because obviously we're dealing with what's down to the south, but that brings tornado risk into areas of Porter County. So Valpo, yes, you have a tornado risk here over the next couple hours. This brings it up into Crown Point, Cedar Lake. We now have to keep an eye on these storms where we didn't keep as close of an eye before because you were in the colder air. A lot of these spots were. LaPorte, you're in the warm air as well, so you have a tornado risk. But right now, what's kind of blocking anything from coming north? Remember, we've got warm, humid air, and we've got moisture that's flowing north. That moisture and everything that's flowing north gets stopped by these storms. And so we're trying to get, more moisture. We're trying to get humidity and more of it in the atmosphere into the Valpo area, but it's running into this storm here. So it kind of blocks it. And so this thing is kind of setting a pick, so to speak, for this area up here to have any big, robust storms. And that's good news. You want it to set the pick, all right? However, this storm is not setting a pick for that flow of air here. And so that's why we've got to keep an eye on these storms back towards Crown Point. Not doing a whole lot yet, but something we'll need to keep an eye on. Okay. So that's kind of big picture view of what we're dealing with. All right, let's get back to our storm here. I want to track where this tornado could be with this. We've still got tornado warnings with this as well. Lots of reports coming in from what it did out towards the west. Yikes. And another big storm's developing up in LaSalle County. So there's that. Let me see one more thing here. So we obviously extended this watch box, and it's interesting. You notice how this is changing. This is now attaching to that. It's getting kind of sucked in by that boundary. It's allowed to flow north a little bit more now. So we now have a big old box for a tornado warning, which encompasses all southern Porter County and northern Jasper County primarily. But this is a big one. It's a big one. Still confirming an extremely dangerous tornado located near DeMont heading east at 25. 2 circulations noted, one west of DeMont, one just southeast of DeMont. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Let's get back to our velocity once again and dive in. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so here's our storm right now. Oh, there we go. I see what they're talking about. Absolutely. Okay. So we now are developing kind of a secondary area of rotation. Let me see when that evolved. So that just happened in the last, it kind of broke off. Interesting. All right. So that happened in the last 2 scans or so. So this is still fresh information. And again, that's great for the Weather Service to catch that. So we've got this area of rotation here. All right. This would likely have a tornado with it still near the Nyman area. This affected Deer Park. This is the one headed towards Wheatfield and Stoutsburg. And then we've got this secondary one that's kind of broke off of it. This thing kind of did a split. It went like this. All right. And that was that appendage of that storm that we were talking about earlier. That's developing some spin on the outside of that right now. So DeMont, I mean, in my mind, your prayers are answered right now because you've got a storm that kind of did a split before it hit you. So whoever's been praying hard in DeMont right now, you may have some answered prayer right now. Problem is, this storm is heading to the north. We still need to be in our safety spot right now in DeMont, okay? And the reason why is because, I mean, you've got perhaps a tornado or a wall cloud with this northern one, still perhaps a tornado on the ground with this one, and you're getting split by it right now. Although downtown DeMont, like downtown proper here, does look okay because you've got rotation here, all right? So who's in these rotation paths? Let's talk about it. This is a rural area here. This is County Road 1400 on the northwest side of DeMont. That's where the rotation is right now. This will get into County Road 950, 900, then over to County Road 800 shortly. This is just south of the Kankakee River. All right. So if that's a good reference point for you, it's just south of that. It will likely hug that and head through basically the northwest side of DeMont. We're talking like the rural area where you get into the county roads once you get away from the town itself. So that's where we're expected that to head. We'll kind of zoom out a little bit more. Let's see what we're dealing with here. This eventually would make its way up towards Couts, but we've got some time. I mean, this is a lot of rural ground up here. County Road 800, really the main road running north and south out of there, and this would head north of there. Strachan Van Til on the north side of DeMont right now. This storm is going to pass just north of you, but man, if you're doing some grocery shopping right now, you need to be inside that store in a safe place. This storm, at least the potential tornadic part of it's going to be just north of you. Let's talk about this one on the south side. This one looks a little bit more promising in terms of that tight rotation still. And this is the part of the storm that, yes, it did produce that severe weather and that tornado back towards the west. Okay, so this we need to keep a close eye on. So Stoutsburg, if you're in Stoutsburg, need to be in your safety place right now. We've got a couple little areas, neighborhood areas here, some developments. This one right here off of 300 West. With Maddie Lane and Cynthia Lane and Rachel Lane, probably all sisters. You need to be in a safe place because this storm's heading right towards you right now. Woodgate Drive, Still Meadow Drive down just to the east of or southeast of DeMont need to be in a safe place. This storm is right over you. This storm will get into Wheatfield probably another 5 to 10 minutes or so. Okay, so heads up for you in Wheatfield. Get in a safe place. This likely still has a tornado or a wall cloud with it. As it continues out towards the east. So Weather Service confirming that. They say tornado threat continues out towards the Wheatfield area right now. Let me get the latest on this. Let's see. This warning goes till 8:45. I mean, we'll track it out of here for sure. Not seeing anything else that's going on in terms of report. DeMont around 7:45 already there. Wheatfield around 7:50. That gives you another 3 minutes or so. We gave you 5. Get in your safe place now. I mean, this thing is approaching, okay, in the Wheatfield area. It would head up towards Dunn's Bridge after that, and then get into the St. Pierre area, Wilders into the Riverside and Lomax communities. Once we cross into areas of Stark County and extreme southern LaPorte County. All right, this will cross into those areas. So here's our rotation right now. We've got, again, really one giant tornado warning. We've got kind of the watch box that they'll trim back and they'll kind of clean this up a little bit. That's their job in terms of what they're doing. If you are in the Wheatfield area right now, or if you happen to be in DeMont or Stoutsburg, what are you seeing right now? Go ahead and throw that in the chat and see what we have. What are you guys experiencing right now? All right, we've got, again, 2 storms that we're watching, 2 potential tornadoes right now. The first is a smaller one that has kind of developed, but this could be north and west of DeMont. This is a rural area just south of the Kankakee River, so there's that. And then this is our bigger one that's likely still on the ground heading towards Wheatfield right now. So there's that. All right, let me see what we've got. I don't see any comments coming in about where you guys are. Okay, let's see. Charles first comment in the town of DeMont, very quiet. Rain has stopped. Okay, so the rain has come to an end for you. Kate says it depends on what part of DeMont you're in. Just some wind, lots of lightning from that as well. Let's see. Brant says Chaser showing uncondensed tornado on the ground right now. I believe it. Just rain in DeMont, says Jess. Got it. Lowell siren stopped a little while ago. Lowell's fine right now. There's no issue there right now, so I'm not too worried about that. So you guys are safe, at least for now. We've got more storms on the way. All right, so we've got, obviously, Wheatfield, heads up to you. Safe place for you right now with that potential tornado or that tornado on the ground right now. We need to treat it like that regardless. We've got a decent hail core on the north side of this right now. So Dunn's Bridge, this is right on the county line between southern Porter County and northern areas of Jasper County. All right, you're getting nailed right now. Couts, you've probably got heavy rain, maybe some hail for you. Malden, you're getting in some heavy rain and hail. But this has got a hail core on the north side of this and a tornado on the south side of this. So this is a storm for extreme northern areas of Newton or Jasper County and extreme southern areas of Porter County right now. That's kind of the area that we're watching that's really getting hit hard by this storm right now. There's this other appendage, though, that is eventually going to get up into areas of southern Porter County. And this is the one that's producing that perhaps secondary tornado back towards the west. Now, this is going to get close to the Hebron area once again. We mentioned that appendage that was jumping out. It could bring you some more. action into that area, and we're going to keep an eye on that. Overall, this storm, I'm going to put some motion on it so we can see it. This storm continues to slowly chug out towards the east, and you can see that rotation there with that tornado heading towards Wheatfield. See that southern side there? It's got that inflow back again. It was just kind of recycling a little bit as it continues to head out towards the east. So Wheatfield right now, all of our friends in Wheatfield, please get into a safe place right now. If you're not already, this storm is right overhead right now with a likely tornado on the ground. All right. If you're off towards the north, Valpo seeing some rain right now. This whole entire chunk of storm is going to get into LaPorte County. We're thinking right now from LaPorte south, we'll see the worst of it. So that would include the Kingsbury area, Kingsford Heights, Wanata, Hanna. Going to see a pretty decent storm out of this. And then this will get into Stark County. Stark County will likely get hit head on by this. So these are the areas right here that I've circled. Those are the communities that are going to get hit by this storm next. All right, it's heading in your direction. In terms of that rotation in these tornadoes, I do want to get some leeway on that. We haven't done that in a couple minutes. So let's go back to velocity. I know it's not the prettiest of radar. It's kind of ugly looking, but this gives us our best read in terms of what's happening in the sky and with that wind. And let's draw out this Wheatfield tornado, and let's draw it out the direction it's going. I want to make sure I get this right. So let me get the motion on here. There you go. All right, so it's still kind of heading in that direction. It hasn't really made that right turn yet, which I was expecting. So this now brings that tornado into areas in terms of timing. We've got Dunn's Bridge in 9 minutes, Teft in 7 minutes, San Pierre in about 16 minutes. This is for that tornado that's on the ground. Wilders in 19, Riverside 18, Lomax 20, English Lake around 25 minutes. And then into the Toto area around, I always like saying that, in 37 minutes or so. North Judson, you'd be included in about 25 minutes or so. All right, for that center of circulation to head your way. Let's track that other one. This one, not quite as prominent. They've still got the warning on it, which is good. So it's split into two right there. This northern one has really fallen apart, and that's good news. And perhaps it's interacting with that boundary we talked about. I don't really see a need to track that one right now. I know we've got the warning for it, but this is it right in here. I mean, it's just southwest of Hebron right now. That rotation that was the reason why we had kind of that split and the bigger warning, because there were the two separate entities. I'm not really too impressed with it. We should treat it seriously right now. So Hebron, it's south of you. I'm not too worried about Hebron itself. I know there's a big population there. Relative to the area around it. A lot of regional weather folks in Hebron as well. I'm not too worried about you right now. Just we're going to keep an eye on this. I'm not saying you need to get in your safe place. It might be a good idea. But again, I don't think you have to in terms of this one. It's this area right here. It's just southeast of you. All right. It's this area right here. And it's not really that clear anymore. We're not getting a good read that there's strong rotation. There's some rotation, but it's not doing a whole lot. Let me check reflectivity real quick, see if that's reacting to it. Yeah, this thing... I mean, this is it right here. This is kind of the appendage that had that secondary tornado possibility. And it's kind of merging with the rest of the storm right now. I really think this main part is really stealing all the energy from it right now. So Wheatfield, this thing's right over you right now. Do we have folks in Wheatfield? And what are you guys seeing right now? I don't want you to be seeing it. What are you hearing right now outside? Anything crazy going on? Has anyone seen damage? Has anyone seen damage from this tornado back towards the west? I mean, thank goodness it's gone through some more rural areas. But Lake Village, I believe, got a direct hit from this. The fire station had some problems. Anyone in DeMont, do we have any damage that you're seeing now that it's safe to go outside in some of those spots? DeMont, you're safe right now. There's still some lightning around, so just be careful. But let's see. Victoria says in Couch starting to rain. Dawn talking about Portage. Let's see. Stacy doesn't know who to believe. Let's see. Okay. Betty says nothing in the basement of Wheatfield. Hail starting now. Okay, Betty. So there's that. Yeah, you're getting kind of the backside of this already. So there's that. Rain and sirens. Let's see. Oh, that's sweet, Brandon. I appreciate it. I just happened to see your comment. He's good. My go-to weather guy. Brandon, we've been around for 12 years, but I appreciate that. Guys, just real quick, there's a lot of new folks on here, and I get that. I don't do any of this for likes or clicks or subscriptions or anything like that. I'm a meteorologist. I have a day job in Cleveland right now. I do the morning show, so I'll be going in early to track that. I've got 3 Emmy Awards behind me. I hate awards, but I don't know what to do with them. But there's that. But I started Region Weather because I was the chief meteorologist in Maryville at Lakeshore Public Television for 7 years of my career. That's where I got my career started, which is really cool. And they stopped doing news. And when they stopped doing news, I had a Facebook page and I said, the Northwest Indiana needs coverage. Like, we have lake effect snow and Chicago doesn't cover us. So that's why I started Region Weather about 12 years ago. And we've been doing live coverage ever since. So welcome to the crew. My name is Matt again, and I'm a meteorologist. I'm a senior meteorologist at NBC, as I mentioned. But I also do this, and I've done this for the last 10, 12 years or so. I've kept my family and my friends safe in Northwest Indiana because this is where I got my start, and this is where I served 7 years of my career. So that's kind of the connection to it. We call it the region. We know that. A lot of other people don't. That's why it's called Region Weather. But I do appreciate you finding us. And again, we do this anytime there's severe weather. We do forecasts every single day. You can check out our page, our YouTube channel, etc. Okay. But again, we don't do it for likes and stuff like that. But nice to meet you. I always forget there's new people that have joined. I always feel it's like our same family. All right, back to the coverage. That's enough chit chatter. All right, we've got obviously. Let me check rotation real quick for Wheatfield. This storm is right over you. I know we had some viewers there as well. I want to check rotation. Then I want to go back to hail because this hail is going to be such an issue here as we go over. I mean, it already has been, but it's going to continue to be with this storm as it heads east. And not everyone's being infected by a tornado. I get it. All right. There's a lot of you out there that are just wondering what's going on with this storm. But that hail, I feel like, is going to cause more damage on a widespread nature than what we're seeing with this tornado. Okay. So something to watch. All right. Wheatfield, strongest rotation is now south of you. It looks like the rotation is still over you, but this is the area right here right now where look, it just updated right where I circled. I love that. But yeah, this is where the worst of it's over and now east of Wheatfield proper, okay, where the main town is, okay? So that's good news. It's east of you right now. This is heading towards Teft. If you do find yourself in any of these communities, there's some weird landmarks that show up, but I'm just going to read them. This is RM Schaefer, just spelled differently, generating station. All right, storm is impacting you right now. Here's the little community of Teft along County Road 400. Very rural here, but County Road 1200, County Road 1100, those are areas that need to be in a safe place right now. And I don't ever want to discount a rural area because there are people that live there, all right? And there are lives and people that go about their lives that live in these spots, right? Just because you and I don't. And I'm telling you, we need to take it seriously. So any of those folks, if you have friends or family in that area, please reach out to them. I just want to make sure they get the word in terms of what's going on. Dunn's Bridge and Teft, safe place. Please get there now. All right, your safety spot, get there. I mentioned earlier, I'm the parent of 5 kiddos. They're all 10 and under. Yes, I have bags on my eyes and gray hairs that have developed. Love them to death. But there are a lot of parents out there right now. A lot of you are parents, and you're wondering, in the path of the storm, how do I tell my kids to get in the basement? Do I put them to sleep? What do we do? Do we go to bed early? Wherever it happens to be. If you're in the path of the storm, make it fun for the kids. Weather does not have to be scary. All right. Tornadoes don't have to be scary. All right. You just need to protect yourself and make sure you're safe from them. Preparation is key. And it is with a lot of things in life. So make it a fun thing. If you're taking them down to the basement, if you're in Teft or Dunn's Bridge right now, if you're in St. Pierre, English Lake, Riverside, Wilders, up towards Lomax, we need to start to kind of prepare for what's going on with this storm. So you might want to get your safety spot ready, but make it fun and relaxing and stay relaxed. And again, I hope you hear that tone in my voice, that I never, am freaking out over this stuff. All right. Nice and calm is the way to do it. It's not going to help anyone if you're all frantic with this. Okay. And the odds that a tornado hits your house, they're very small. Okay. These things, 100 yards wide, sometimes 200 yards wide. If you zoom on out to a community, that takes up a very small strip of the town, okay? it's dangerous, right? We need to prepare for it, but most people are not going to get hit by a tornado this evening. And we tend to get in our minds what you see on the Weather Channel, what you see in these movies, where you see destruction all the time, and you think, "Oh my gosh, that's my house because there's a tornado warning." No, that's not how it works. All right, and as long as you know where this thing is and you're tracking with a degreed meteorologist, I don't care who you follow, but follow someone that knows what they're talking about. All right. You'll stay safe through it. All right. So this is where it is right now. We know where it is. We can get down to street level. Okay. This is where it would be right in here. All right. Right between Dunsbridge and Teff. That's where that area of rotation would be with the tornado. Okay. So we know that. Outside of that, you're fine. All right. We've got hail. Yeah. We don't want that. We've got lightning. But the most dangerous part of weather, which is a tornado, we're not dealing with that outside of that right now. Sam Pierre, I want you to be in a safe place. All right, let's go back to this other rotation, and then we'll talk hail like I talked about. You see these two areas of rotation. They did the split. So here's the one producing the tornado. This one continues to track like that. You can kind of see where it's going, and then it split right here briefly. That area of rotation is up near Boone Grove right now, and I'm not impressed with it. So Boone Grove, you're fine right now. You've got a little wind. It's probably rotating above you, but clouds and storms rotate all the time. It's not tight enough to warn it. And the Weather Service doesn't think so either. I love that. I love the Weather Service, the way they cut that polygon back, and they have the new one, obviously, for Stark County that we're talking about. New severe thunderstorm warnings there as well. All right, let's get to the hail radar. I've promised that long enough. Let's see. So here's your hail. There you go. Pretty good hail core. This hail core is not, it just doesn't line up. Now, the hail radar lines up every 5 minutes. We get updates on that. Everything else is in sales mode, which updates every minute or so. But I'm not impressed with the way they drew that hail, so I'm going to drop myself. This is where your hail is, right here. Boy, I've never heard of that town. Again, I've forecasted here for a long time. I've never heard of this place. I don't even know how to begin to pronounce it. But La Crosse, you're getting some hail right now. What is this? South and east of Couts. I've never heard of this community. Clan Ricard or Clan Ricard? I don't know how to say that. It's a beautiful name. Has anyone lived there? Does anyone that's watching right now? I'm sure people live there, but is anyone watching right now? Are you from Clan Ricard? And I'm probably butchering it, and I'm really sorry. I haven't had really a challenging word in a while. It doesn't look like there's a lot of homes there. It's basically an intersection. So there's that. Anyway, never heard of that. It's never showed up on my map before. Couts, heavy rain for you. You've got lightning as well. The bulk of the lightning is south of you in Couts right now. You're just getting some good rain, perhaps some hail as well. That gets up into 5 Points corners. How about La Crosse? We haven't mentioned you. You're getting into some hail right now. This hail's going to get pretty decent here as we go through time. So Stephanie says it's just an old grain elevator. So, okay. Okay, there's our updated tornado warning box, which gets into Stark County. Now, our coverage area, as some of you know, we've got to cut it off somewhere. All right, so we've got Stark County in there, and then once it gets out of Stark County, it's. I'm not saying it's not our problem, but we're not going to cover it. You've got to draw a line somewhere, especially if you do the morning show and your bedtime has already happened. But we're getting you through these storms, guys. That's what we're doing here tonight. La Crosse. Yes, we've got obviously the hail moving in and heavy rain. You've got lightning as well. This is a decent storm in La Crosse. That's why we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings up in our northern counties. Wanata, how about you right now? You're back in that warmer air. You've got a decent storm moving in. There's not a lot of lightning with it, just some good downpours. Valpo, you've had some downpours south and east of town. We're getting rain at the airport right now. This rain is kind of patchy once you get out towards the west. Not seeing much doing on the northern end of this. Lake County, how about that? You haven't had much yet. These storms trying to pulse up, but they're jumping into that cold air and they're not doing a whole lot. I thought we'd get more hailers out of this, and to be honest, I thought we'd have more storms than this big one right now. Again, that's the challenge in forecasting. You never know how these things are exactly going to evolve because they often rely on where the initial storms happen. And that initial storm was just sucking up all the energy, so we didn't pop other storms around it. We are not done with the storm action, though, yet. I do want to make that very clear. There's a ton of activity out towards the west. This will eventually form into a line, I'm guessing, and this will swing through the area. So we are not done by any means for areas of Lake and Porter counties. We've just got a break in between this storm and when that arrives. But in terms of our tornadic storm right now, this continues out towards the east. English Lake, I mentioned that. Riverside, Lomax, Saint Pierre, heads up. This storm's passing almost over you right now. in the San Pierre area. Let me stop this thing and let's get down to the radar again and get back to that velocity product so we can see where this rotation is right now. All right, so we're scanning the radar. This is by far our biggest storm. So this is where we have our tornado still, right in here. Teff Dunn's Bridge, you're almost out of it. San Pierre, Riverside, either Wilders or Wilders. Sometimes we pronounce those differently. All three of those areas are in the path of this storm that is going to run north and south here through the La Crosse area. Between La Crosse and San Pierre, we're going to be dealing with this storm here over the next, 10, 15 minutes or so. So safe place for you, San Pierre. Please get in your safe place. Riverside, you as well. English Lake, now's about the time to get into your safety zone. We've probably got another, 15, 20 minutes or so before this works in. All right, I'm checking in with the Weather Service right now. Rotation has tightened up. Spotters reporting a tornado near Wheatfield, which will continue eastward out of Jasper County, another 15, 20 minutes or so. That's the storm we're tracking right now. That's the one heading towards San Pierre. So tornado on the ground still being reported with spotters. All sorts of pictures coming in from these storms back in Illinois of hail completely covering the ground in these spots. Okay. It's a mess in those locations. So that storm continues out towards the east. Seeing some pockets of rotation, nothing too noteworthy, but notice it gets a little sloppy up here. Coutts, a little sloppy. South of Valpo, a little sloppy in terms of the wind. Nothing that needs warned or anything like that, but just something we need to keep an eye on if it tightens up. By and large, this is our big storm right now. It's the southern flank of this giant storm that continues out towards the east. So La Crosse, you're getting a hail right now. Clan Ricarde, or however you say it, you've got it as well. Just a big old storm. All right, a lot of folks saying sirens going off in La Crosse right now. That makes sense. I'm not seeing a tornado threat in La Crosse. Wanata getting the sirens right now. We've got sirens in Westville. So this is a LaPorte County thing. And again, I'm not a big fan of this. Okay, sirens going off because you have a new tornado warning that's issued for the extreme southern part of the county, okay? And I hate that. Sirens in LaPorte right now, I hate that. And we need to fix this as a community. This tornado is nowhere close to you guys where that siren's going off. It's not. Yet we're freaking everyone out. And because LaPorte County has an issuance, this little tiny part of the county has a tornado warning. Wilders and Riverside, that's it. La Crosse, you're not even in the warning right now. You've got hail and you've got a decent storm, but there's not a tornado coming towards you, yet the sirens are going off. And then you get areas that are how far north? In Wanata, up towards LaPorte. LaPorte, it's not even raining right now. Wanata, you've got a storm, but there's not a tornado. That's what we have to fix. Here's LaPorte County, huge, right? Here's where the warning is, this little tiny portion. And so this little tiny portion should not set off the sirens for the entire county. Sorry, I'm getting fired up about it, but that's ridiculous. All right. So thank goodness you guys are plugged in here because you know that there's not a big deal, or else everyone's going to be freaking out because we knew it was a big tornado day. We knew the potential was there for big tornadoes, yet we're sending sirens off when there's not even a raindrop in some of these locations. Boy, the people that are not on this feed or plugged in right now are probably heading to their basement and doing all sorts of crazy things, thinking a tornado's coming. That is not the case, all right? LaPorte, you're completely fine. You don't have a raindrop. We've got some rain moving in. Wanata, yes, you're getting a storm. I don't see anything crazy with that storm other than some hail right now and some gusty winds, and you got heavy rain. La Crosse, I mean, the sirens can go because it's a bad storm. I mean, we've got decent hail for you right now. But that tornado threat, I don't see a big one in La Crosse right now. Everything's south of you. Okay, so let's get to where that tornado threat is. Again, that's the big issue. Anyway, sorry, I get a little fired up over those things just because it's inappropriate. What kind of messaging are we sending? So there's that. Rita's saying in Valpo, the sirens were going off too. No, you didn't have a tornado threat. All right, so two things that we've got right now. We've got the two areas of rotation. This one continues. It looks like it did tighten up here, all right, when we were tracking it. Right there, it tightened up, but it's kind of loosened up a little bit again. Here's the problem. We are now getting further away from the radar. And you see this, we had a tornado report coming in. Train spotter, 5 miles east of Wheatfield, reported tornado on the ground. Okay. Again, that was about 9 minutes ago. And we talked about that. That's not like new information for us. But in terms of the rotation with this, it's over San Pierre. It's just north of town along South 1000 West. And again, it's still there. And I would treat it like there's a tornado right in here right now, but it could be weakening a little bit, hopefully, because I'm not seeing as tight of a rotation. Problem is, we're getting further away from the radar. So there's that. It actually is a little bit further north than I drew it. So it's right in here. This is where your rotation is. So Riverside Lomax, just north of San Pierre. Okay, could be stretched out. These aren't always pretty tornadoes. Sometimes they're stretched out. Sometimes you get multiple vortices as well. English Lake, you're already in your safe place. Thank goodness. How about North Judson? Completely fine right now. This storm is going to pass to the north of you as it looks right now. So that's good news, at least the tornadic part of this. We'd like to keep it that way. This is going to pass. It's going to start to cross right over the Stark and LaPorte County line. So that's where we're going to see this circulation pass right here. This is where it is. It's going to kind of follow this line here. It's going to head off towards the north, kind of like that. All right, that's what we're looking at. Somewhere between there and there, okay, is what we're looking at. So English Lake, you're in the path of this. All right, let's plan that there's a tornado coming your way with this. Another kind of brighter area rotation showing up here. That could be some wind kind of flowing in. Maybe starting to kick this thing up again. We could see it recycle for sure. All right, up towards Couts, some gusty winds here. Not seeing anything too crazy. Malden up towards the Porter County Airport, some gusty wind action with this. I don't see anything rotating, no. And just you're doing a scan elsewhere. I don't see anything of concern. We've got some broad rotation in Lake County right now. That's just messy, though. That's not anything that needs to be tornado warned. It's just a little messier there. That's all. Let's go back to reflectivity, see what we're dealing with. Yeah, this is a shower in Maryville, right? And then here's our big storm. Hail core, La Crosse right now, just east of town. Thomaston, you're getting into some hail right now. We've got heavy rain just south of Westville. No reason for the sirens, though, in Westville. No reason for the sirens anywhere in LaPorte County. LaPorte, couple raindrops falling. Union Mills getting into some decent rain right now. It's starting to downpour in spots. Haskell, you're picking up some decent downpours right now as well. Hannah, you've got some heavier rain on the doorstep there with some hail. Thomaston's seeing some hail right now, though. La Crosse, you're getting out of the hail. This will head over towards Brems, eventually into Hamlet. Knox, you're on the doorstep of some decent hail and some heavy rain and some lightning that'll be pushing in. So that's kind of where that storm's going. We still have our tornado warning. This goes, again, for areas of Stark County. This is a PDS tornado. So this is from that observed tornado. I don't want us to be thinking this is like radar indicator or anything like that. When we say there's a tornado warning, that means there's a tornado on the ground. That's kind of where we've been going with it here this evening. Again, North Judson, 10 miles east of Wheatfield, moving east around 35. So it's gotten a little bit faster speed on it, forward speed. Let's track this thing through. I mean, this is just still an ugly storm. Knox heads up to you, Hamlet as well. This is just a nasty storm coming in still with hail. We've got wind with it. And then obviously we've got this tornado threat sitting right in this area right here. Okay. Oh boy, actually, that's interesting because the tornado threat was here, if you remember. And now it looks like we may be developing something out towards the west. Let's check velocity one more time. Yeah, that's getting a little uglier right now. So we may have kind of a recirculation pushing in. This is kind of a general broad area of rotation. We've actually got two, one there within this. Riverside, San Pierre, stay in your safe spot. All right. This thing we may have had a rotation. It's kind of gathering with that second one as it comes in. So either way, we're going to keep a close eye on this. Safe place in terms of your safety spot. Get in there. Riverside, Lomax, San Pierre. It's just north of San Pierre, but still safety spot would be great. English Lake heads up. All this coming your way. Eventually, North Judson. I think this will miss you to the north. We'll keep a close eye on it. But out towards Knox, this is kind of the path of this thing, okay? And storms often behave the way they've behaved in the past. And so when we look at this storm that's producing the tornado, we can track it all the way back into Illinois. This supercell has produced a tornado for miles and miles now. I mean, we're talking on the order 30, 40 miles that this tornado probably wasn't on the ground the whole time, but it's likely been on the ground at times during that whole 40 miles. And so There's no reason why this storm would behave any differently here as we go over the next 30 minutes or so. All right. This is still the part of the storm we need to watch. It's the part that's been producing the tornado, and it'll probably continue to do that as it heads out towards the east. Okay. That's the nature of these storms. The same storm will produce that tornado over and over again as it continues to rotate. We could even track this storm into areas of eastern Indiana and Ohio. This thing could fall apart. And then if it were to redevelop in Ohio, it would probably be the same storm that could cause a tornado warning. So that's the kind of stuff that we're watching. All right. Police department reporting a damage path, 10 and 200 east in Jasper County. A solar field was destroyed. So we are getting damage reports from this out of Jasper County. Unfortunately, I mean, we knew this was inevitable. We did. And that, I'm sure that stretches back, Lake Village. We were tracking that storm through. I know Lake Village got hit by this. There's got to be damage there. Wheatfield, demonic kind of picked up in those areas a little bit. It wasn't quite as strong. Just east of Wheatfield, it came back down on the ground as it looked right now. It may have been on the ground in these areas, but it wasn't quite as strong as it was just east of town and then west of town back towards Lake Village. So there's that. All right. So in terms of, kind of the worst part of the storm, I mean, it's a bad storm, but it's really this rotation part that we continue to watch. All right. We need to keep an eye on where that tornado is. And that tornado would be right in here. Looks like it's recycling a little bit. So English Lake in that community, a heads up to you. Not a ton of houses here. It's a pretty decent. It's not rural here. I mean, we've got obviously quite a few roads, and there is a population here in English Lake, but it's not obviously as populated as like North Judson would be. So any of these folks in here, if you know anyone in English Lake area, heads up to those folks. We have a dangerous storm and likely a tornado heading your way with that warning that continues out in the Toto area. North Judson, you're included in it. However, I feel like we're going to be fine here down in North Judson. Everything's passing north of you. They drew that polygon in case it were to waffle a little bit, and it may still do so. So we're going to keep a close eye on it, as I mentioned, but not seeing anything too crazy right now for you. Outside of that, we've just got our severe thunderstorm warning. That's for the hail and some gusty winds and heavy rain and lots of lightning. Decent storm. Again, that's for the southern half of LaPorte County and then the rest of Stark County outside of that rotation area. Okay, let me go back to reflectivity again, and let's talk kind of how this goes through the rest of the evening. So everything kind of gathering out towards the west right now. These storms, especially the southern flank of it, back in areas of Illinois, these are severe right now. And we have tornadoes kind of doing the same thing here. How the southern end of it's got the tornado here in northwest Indiana, the southern storm here, where you have the richest flow coming out of the south without it being blocked. That too has tornadoes back towards the Henry and Winona area in Illinois. This right here to me spells wind damage. All right. This would have wind damage with it. Can't rule out a tornado, but it's a little bit more linear. And the way I see this rest of this evening going, there's nothing developing in here, which surprises me. I thought what we would get would be multiple supercells kind of lining up before this big line came in. I knew the line was going to be coming in. It showed up in the modeling, and there's a front. Anytime there's a cold front that's going to sweep through, I mean, we're going to be cold. We're going to get colder after this. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, it's going to feel like wintertime outside. But either way, this front that we've got that's continuing out towards the east is going to produce a squall line. But I'm surprised we don't have more supercells that have developed out in advance of this, all right? Could one or two still pop here as we go over the next hour, 2 hours? It could. But I think the main story for everyone, and again, we are not severe weather clear yet. That front is not through. I think the main story for everyone is going to be this squall line that's developing here. Our tornado threat with this is going to be lower, okay? It's not going to be zero. It's going to be lower, kind of in part that we've already kind of worked over the atmosphere in this area. But this southern flank of it, which would have the tornadoes, at least it'd have the best chance for it. That southern flank's going to swing through like this, and it may even head a little bit further to the south. And a lot of these areas are worked over already. I still do think we'll have a tornado threat, mainly in our southern counties again, like in this zone here. That's just kind of my feeling right now. And I do think we'll have, with this main squall line here, a damaging wind threat that would come with it as it heads east. It'll head east like this, okay? So we'll get probably in another, gosh, how far is this out? 2 hours or so, hour and a half, 2 hours or so, this is going to head into Lake County. All right. And all of us are going to get a storm. All right. And it'll have lightning. We'll probably have a gust front with it. And there could be some embedded tornadoes within it. There's always that chance when you have a line. But overall, my feeling is that this would just be a wind damage threat for our northern counties. We would probably have some hail. We have a lot of lightning as well. And then it's still down in our southern counties where we have the best chance of a tornado from here on out. Unfortunately, we're not done. And then we'll have to keep an eye on this as it passes through the areas, central and southern Lake, central southern Porter, central southern LaPorte counties, where that warm air is right now. When you step outside, if it's warm, we still do have a tornado threat, albeit it's lower than our southern counties, but we would have a tornado threat with this line. And what we'd be watching with this line, let me show you. Let's get to, I know we've got our storm here. I think we've covered it. I do want to get back to it again. All right. I don't want to obviously dismiss what's happening down in our Stark County friends, but you should be set up for success with that. But as we look at this storm, you can see the thing we'll be watching for. I mean, all this wind is kind of gushing out in advance of it. All right. Here's your tornado with your circulation down to the south. But what we have to watch for when this rolls through late this evening into tonight is you get these little notches, these little inflow areas that tend to produce quick spin up tornadoes. We wouldn't see any huge tornadoes, long lasting tornadoes with this line like we do with this one and like we probably do with this one out towards central Illinois. Does that make sense? Does that kind of help us figure out what's happening the rest of the evening? And I'm formulating a plan right now. I am going to, unfortunately, after this gets out of the Stark County area, okay, once our threat is over from this tornado warning, I'm unfortunately going to have to leave you through the overnight, all right? Because, again, I've got a day job. I've got a morning show that I have to get up for in about 4 hours, okay? And we've got severe weather of our own that I need to track. And so that's the one that pays the bills. That's the one I spend, obviously my priority on when it calls for. So I'm going to have to go to bed between this break. But I do want to make sure everyone's set up for success with this next line of storms. We'll have likely a squall line that moves through with heavy rain and strong winds for everybody. Even our cold areas are going to get that. And then we would continue with a tornado threat. It would be much lower, though, from areas of central and southern Lake and Porter counties getting into LaPorte County. And then that tornado threat would still be there for Newton, Jasper, and for Stark County with the storm as it comes in. Okay, so there's that. I love this comment, Bree. Boo Bills. I know. It's awful, right? If only life were so easy that I could just do this full time, be home with the kids and pop on when we needed, that would be ideal. But unfortunately, that trade-off's not there right now. We do thank our sponsors, though. They're amazing. They really are. And I vet them all. And again, use them if you need anything in those trades. All right. So let's get back to our friends in Stark County and southern LaPorte County, okay? Not seeing much else developing behind that right now. That's the good news. Still some downpours near Valpo. But you get into Stark County right now, and boy, we still have a pretty decent area rotation showing up, even on the reflectivity going through English Lake right now. That's where I left you, was English Lake getting your safe place. And look at this. I guarantee we have a tornado on the ground right now. This thing has tightened up again. Remember, we saw that area of rotation, then a second one developed behind it. Well, they caught up with each other, and that's kind of giving it some oomph. And as a result, we are back to a strong tornado likely on the ground in Stark County right now, right near the little town of English Lake. It's not really a town. It's more of just kind of a pass-through area. And look at that. I mean, this thing is really ramping up. This is now showing signs that we have another strong tornado on the ground, all right? And this is in English Lake, Kankakee Fish and Wildlife area. You're in the path of the storm. Not that saying anyone's doing that this evening, but that's a good landmark. This is all north of North Judson. That's good news. North Judson, you're in the clear right now. I know you've got your warning, but you don't need to be in your safe spot right now. Let's be honest. Toto, heads up to you. I say that weird. I should say Toto. Indian Hill, getting up into the Brems area, heads up to you. The storm's heading your way. How about La Crosse right now? We've got gusty winds, but in terms of a tornado threat for you, I'm not seeing much of a tornado threat for La Crosse right now. Okay, it's south and east of you. This storm, man, this thing is really a doozy right now. Unfortunately, this thing has really ramped up, you guys. Getting up into Brems, as I mentioned, Indian Hill, Knox, our next bigger town that we need to keep an eye on. This storm has eyes on you, Knox. It really does. We'll see if it holds together. Hopefully we get kind of a recycle where it kind of heads beyond that. I see a good question popping up on our YouTube channel. I just happen to see this every now and then. It will catch my eye. This is from D-Socked. Great question. After the squall line, is there more beyond? So we talked about that squall line moving through. I think our severe threat's going to be pretty low after that. That squall line should pass through and get out of here. I think our severe threat's over 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It does rain beyond that, though. We end up getting a pretty rainy day tomorrow. We could still have some rumbles of thunder once this all heads by, too. So keep that in mind. But our severe threat, once that squall line gets through, I feel like our severe threat's going to go down drastically. Okay, so there's that. But great question on that. I do appreciate that question. All right, so again, English Lake, tornado probably on the ground right now. I mean, this is showing signs, especially because we're getting further away from the radar site. This is showing signs of a big tornado. This is error. Okay, that is not a factual thing right now. But this is showing signs that this thing is really strengthened. Okay, so please be in your safe spot right now. Other roads, again, we've got West Toto Road, which runs east and west between English Lake and Toto. That's right over the path of the storm right now. Let's see, we've got 10 Mile Road. That's north of this, so just south of the 10 Mile Road area. Just a big old grid out here. North Judson, you're fine, as I mentioned. This will get up into Indian Hill, and then here's Knox. So let's time this out now, shall we? Let's go and redraw here. All right, here we go. So we're going to draw kind of a broad area. This thing's getting bigger, and we're going to draw it out towards Knox and areas further east. How much time do we have? So in Toto right now, we've got about 8 minutes until this potential tornado hits, okay? So safe spot for you, and then Knox another 16 to 20, I would give it. So get in your safe place now. Start to prepare for the storm to move in. If you're in Knox right now, I mean, this is going to be one of our population centers here, and I do not want to see any issues for you folks in Knox with this storm system. You're getting plenty of warning with this, okay? So let's get that off the screen. Let's go back to reflectivity so we can tell what's actually happening. So there you go. This storm is getting that classic look again, you guys. It really is. It's got that hook. All right, right here. You've got the inflow, so you've got air flowing into it. Nice, dry, warm air. In Toto right now, we talked about the start of the broadcast, and this was back in Lake Village area. In Toto right now, if you were to go outside, which I don't recommend because there's lightning around, but if you were to go outside, that wind would be coming from like a south-southeast direction, and it would be flowing. That is literally feeding into the tornado. All right. That's super creepy in my mind, but that's the science behind it. It's sucking in this air. It's literally sucking that air into the storm system. Just incredible stuff. But you've got that inflow notch there. Your rear flank downdraft downdraft on the northern side of it. We've got a hail core within this as well. I mean, this is just classic. You've got hail right in here. So Brems out towards Indian Hill, we're dealing with some hail right now. Knox, you had some heavy rain. You've had some lightning around. All right. Worst part of the storm is not in Knox right now. The way it's going to go in Knox, all right, for my folks there. Do we have folks on there as well? Do we have folks that are in Knox right now? Chime in if you're in Knox or around Knox right now, because I want to let you know kind of how this thing's going to go. A lot of you saying that the sirens are off again. I see that. Olivia saying sirens in Westville again. There we go. Aaron, Union Mills, seeing some sirens. Okay, Sarah, I see you're in Knox right now. Nicole says sirens in the report in LaPorte. Why are we getting the sirens again? Because they updated the watch and they updated the warning. So they drew a new warning box, which makes sense. It got reissued. It triggered everything. So now LaPorte's sirens are going off all over the county. Okay, so just know this is not a threat to LaPorte or anyone else. There's really not a lot of jurisdictions in LaPorte County that are dealing with this tornado warning. You are safe. There's not a tornado anywhere but areas of Stark County right now, okay? And the extreme southern, very, very southern tip of LaPorte County. I hate that they do that. All right, so Knox. Sarah, I saw you were. Let's see, Brandon, you're between Knox and Grovertown. And then I'm seeing, okay, Christine, you're in Knox. You see this at Toto as well. All right, awesome. Ashley, thanks for this PSA. Romans Roofing offering emergency tarps anyone in need if you need assistance. There you go, 219-716-2196. Thank you for that, Ashley. I appreciate that. All right, so in Knox, my folks in Knox right now, Here's how it's going to go. You had the rain, all right? You had the lightning around. It's starting to lessen up a little bit, okay? It's starting to back off and it sounds quiet outside, right? Hopefully I'm right. That quietness is out ahead of this potential tornado, okay? And again, that gives me chills to say, doesn't need to be scary, doesn't mean you need to be scared by it, okay? But that's what's happening. So the rain's backing off. You're getting into this dry portion of it where, I mean, the wind is kind of blowing into the storm. All right, so we're going to dry off for a little bit. It's going to sound quiet, and then this storm is going to hit after that. All right, you're going to get this sudden gust of wind. There's also probably still a tornado with this as well. This is trending right towards Knox. So it goes quiet for probably the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. I would say maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And then we get the potential tornado with this. I would guess there's something on the ground still with this. Here it is. All right. And again, that's heading into town right now. You've probably got another 5 minutes or so before the worst part of this, before that tornado or that potential tornado hits. Okay. So that's your heads up to all the folks in Knox right now. That's how I see this playing out. And that's kind of what we've got. Therese, I see you as well. I've got a lot of folks that are talking about the Knox area. Crystal, I see you're between Knox and Judson by Toto. I got that. So thank you guys. So again, safety spots, all those folks that are in that area. All right, where are you right now? The good news about live coverage is that, especially on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, is that you can take me with you. Okay, you don't need to be glued to a TV like back in the old days where you leave the TV on, you turn the volume up to like 50, and then you go hide somewhere. It's not what you need to do. So take your phone with you, even bring the charger, plug it in somewhere, get to your safety spot being in the middle of the house. Between you want to put a bunch of walls between you and the outside. You don't want to have windows in your room. Not really the best idea. If you have a basement, go there. That's number one. Go to the basement. A lot of you don't have basements, and that's okay. That's when you want to get to an interior room, whether it be a bathroom, a closet. I know that sounds so uncomfortable, but let's do that. All right. You want to get to those areas, center room of the house. You know what room that is. It's different in all houses. And you want to protect yourself. We talked about this earlier. It's not a fashion show. If you guys have a helmet, get it on. If there are kids in the house, calmly tell them to bring their stuffies and all that stuff. We're going to have a little bathroom party, or we're going to have a basement party, and we're just going to stay safe from some of these storms moving in. It doesn't have to be scary. It can be fun, or try to make it as fun as possible. All right. And remember, the kids are going to see your calmness on your face. They're going to see how you're reacting and how your situation or handling that situation. They're going to look to you to see whether this is a scary situation or not. So let's not make it that, okay? So do those things. Grab your phone, your charger, your stuff, put some shoes on, just in case worst case scenario happens. You have to get out. There's debris and stuff. You don't want to be walking on that with bare feet. So get the shoes, get the helmet on, get the kids, gather in, kind of go together and hunker down for this, okay? And we'll let you know when it passes. And we'll go from there. Okay, so we've still got a little bit of time in Knox. That rotation's out towards the west. If you're in the Toto area right now, this is going to clip you to the north. It's too close for comfort. I don't like it. So you need to be in your safe places we've been talking about. North Judson, you're just fine from this. There's no issue for you in North Judson, okay? So heads up to Knox. That's what we're keeping our eye on. Indian Hill, you're going to be in this as well. Brems, close enough, too close for comfort. Elsewhere, not seeing any rotation, not worried about anything. This is our main storm right now with this potential tornado. Let's see what we've got. I need to switch over right now. I need to switch over to the Northern Indiana radar chat. I do have it. Good. Join huddle. What is this? Okay. No. What is this? Oh, this is not what I need it to be. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Pea-Size Hill. Okay, we are now. So now I am now plugged into Stark County. Different weather service gets a little tricky. All right, rotation has tightened up again, guys. This is a tornado on the ground, getting towards Knox right now. Okay, so please treat this storm seriously. Please, if you've gone through tornado warnings in the past, a lot of times you say, well, that didn't happen, or they said it was going to happen. This is happening right now. All right. So this is the time that we practice what we preach in terms of getting, into that safe spot. And we're getting reports, and I actually see a lot of people saying confirmed tornado just north and east of Judson. So it doesn't surprise me. It's what we've been saying. This is definitely showing signs that we have a tornado on the ground. We can also look at, and I don't really want to, but we will, We're going to look at, let's see, where is it? I don't even see it in my thing. There it is. Correlation coefficient. This can show debris. Just to confirm, we already know it's confirmed. Yeah, it gets a little messy in there. So this is a messy chart, but right in here, I mean, it's kind of moving. Right in here, we're looking for basically what correlation coefficient is. It's a big word, and it gets fancy. You're looking for things that are different size in the sky. And when they're different, when they're all the same, it shows nice and smooth on the map. When they're different, so when they're all the same, like raindrops, it's nice and smooth. When you've got hail mixed in there, it gets a little messy. When you've got debris, we're talking like trees and parts of things from debris from a tornado, it shows up as a loud mark on correlation coefficient. And we do have some noise, but it's kind of messy back towards the west. All right, so here's what we're doing with rain. Remember, when we look at this radar, we're seeing the rain and the hail. Okay, that's why it's so bright. So we do have hail on the north side of this right now. Brems, Indian Hill picking up some hail. Hamlet, Grovertown, you've got hail as well. But the most important thing I can show you right now is this velocity. Okay, this shows where the wind, what the wind is doing within this storm. And we see this real broad, well, I don't want to say broad, it's a tight couplet right now, but it's big. All right, so that tells me we've got a decent tornado on the ground, which we've already had confirmed by multiple people on here. And this is heading into the Indian Hill area and into Knox, which we've been talking about as well. So let's get down to the nitty gritty in terms of roads. So we've got the Yellow River through here. It's basically over the Yellow River, just south of Indian Hill right now. North Range Road, if you're anywhere near that, that's where the storm is. That road runs north and south. And then once we get into Knox, we're talking Pacific Avenue, East Division Road. Those two roads are going to be the first up here with the storm as it heads in. Now, if I were to look at this as a whole here, as this continues to kind of head off towards the east, Knox, you're in the path of it. The worst of this looks to be, again, too close to call, but the worst of it would favor the north side of Knox. All right, so depending on what part of town you're on, we may get hit a little differently here with this. But again, this is too close to call. And this thing is going to take up really the entire town is what we're looking at right now. I haven't had water in 2 hours. My voice is going away. Let me get some water real quick, guys. Cody, thank you for that. I can't pay for the chasers on here. So I don't know. Very large tornado moving at Knox right now. Thank you. So it's confirmed. They're following it. And this is it. I mean, this is what we're dealing with right now. Yes, Missy, we talked about that. Yeah. Thanks for telling everyone else. It's crazy. All right, so guys, here's where our tornado is right now. It's right in here. I mean, this is it. We've got real good rotation within this thing. And we're talking, we can even measure this right now to determine how big this tornado possibly is. I mean, we've got 86 mile per hour winds, 90 mile per hour winds in one direction. And then the other direction we had like 30 to 40. So that would be 110 to 140 mile per hour wind potential within this storm, within this tornado. Okay. Not good. I mean, that's not good at all in terms of kind of strength of this thing. All right. So here we are right now. This thing is just south of Indian Hill. Toto, it's just north of you right now. You're probably getting brushed by this. You may have some wind damage from this, but a large tornado on the ground heading towards Knox right now. If you are anywhere in and around Knox, please, again, get in your safety spot. If there is someone that you know that lives in Knox, whether it be friend, family member, just shoot them a text, make sure they know about it. I mean, this is a big tornado that's on the ground right now. Destiny, I cannot. I mean, I've got them on here. You got to pay for it. I mean, they're not. You don't have to pay for it. You have to have a contract with them, and that's the thing. And I can't. I've got storm chasers on here. They have them on here. I know a lot of them are tracking the storm, as you guys are mentioning. Unfortunately, I can't do that. That's the thing that sets local coverage apart from some of these bigger names that, you know, have the money obviously to do that. But they're tracking a big tornado into town, which makes sense. So that's kind of what we've been tracking here on radar. So Knox heads up. Center of circulation is now just west of you. So this will be getting into Knox probably another 2 or 3 minutes or so. Okay. So this includes all of our folks here. Hopefully you've not, you know, hopefully you're hunkered down. All right. But we've got a lot of locations within Knox, like the downtown depot. We've got the splash pad. Boy, that's not the place to be right now. The Crown Hill Cemetery, getting into the Stark County Hospital. All of these areas are in the path of the storm. I don't like the fact the hospital is in the path of the storm. I don't want anyone to be in the path, but especially a hospital where you cannot move people efficiently. All right, we've got our latest scan right now. Remember, I mentioned the north side of Knox is going to get the brunt of this, or it stands a chance at getting the brunt of this. That looks to be the case. This is where the bulk of the center circulation showing up on radar right now. Okay, this is going to kind of scritch through Knox, northern side of it here. Okay, so if you're south of East Culver Road, which runs east and west through Knox on the south side, if you're south of that, it looks like we're going to escape this one. Downtown Knox itself, though, it doesn't look good. All right, it doesn't, especially the northern side of town. Once you get up towards West 100 North, you're getting some of the worst part of this storm right now. Now, the hospital itself, if there's any, I don't know if anyone from Stark County Hospitals listening here, but if you are, it looks like the worst of this in terms of where that tornado is passing is going to be just north of you. It doesn't mean you can't sustain damage. All right. But this thing is a huge tornado that's on the ground right now, and it continues to show signs that it is not weakening up a little at all. So in the hospital itself, safe place for as many people as you can get there. I hope we're already there. It looks like the worst of it is going to pass north of you, though. Okay. So that's the light at the end of the tunnel that I'm seeing. But man, Knox and areas north, I mean, this thing is just huge. Look how massive this thing has become. I mean, this thing could swallow Knox in a hurry. This thing is a massive storm, just incredible. So yes, it's still on the ground. This is likely one of the stronger. I mean, just looking at our velocity here, this is likely one of the stronger tornadoes of the night, even going back towards what it was in Illinois. Lake Village, we know, got hit by this same storm that produced this tornado earlier. It kind of jumped up and then came back down. So there's that. Okay. And now we have tornado warnings that have just been issued with this. All right. PDS continues. We've got hail in the mix as well. And this continues to be just a devastating situation for Knox and areas just north of town. All right. If you know anyone in this area, they have to be in a basement or somewhere safe right now. They have to be. Okay. Let's get kind of a heads up on where this thing is going as it continues to head out towards the east right now. Let me track this thing out. Here we go. We'll draw the line. I mean, this thing's huge. Okay. We'll head this way. This will get up into the Grovertown area, Donaldson as well. We've got another 15 minutes or so before this thing gets into Grovertown. Donaldson, another 20 minutes for you. Okay. Folks in Oak Grove right now, probably getting a little nervous with this. This should pass just north of you. It's going to be too close to call right now, though. So anywhere in the Oak Grove area, we need to start thinking about safety spot. Hamlet should pass just south of you. I don't like how close it's going to be. So if you're in Hamlet right now, let's get into our safety spot as well. This storm is too big to not deal with. Okay, to not take seriously. Okay, so let's all say some prayers for Knox. I see a lot of people doing that right now for sure. All right. So yes, Plymouth as well. Jennifer is calling that out. I mean, this eventually is going to make its way in that direction. Plymouth's got some time on this. So I got to be honest. We've got a little bit of time before it gets there. And this may head north of Plymouth in terms of the exact route. You see kind of the path this storm's taken. All right. In terms of that direction. So that brings it north of Plymouth. Okay. If it continues on that trajectory, here's Plymouth here. So it would pass north. All right. Unless something else were to develop, but still it's heading that way. And obviously we're getting into more population once you get along the US 30 corridor. So that's what we're dealing with here. This thing is eventually heading towards Hamlet, Grovertown, as we mentioned. Indian Hill about to get raked from this storm. If it's not already happening over your area, and then Knox obviously in the brunt of it right now. So north side of town getting hit the hardest. You can see how this heads up north 400 east. We're dealing with obviously that big storm right now. Yeah, we're seeing some. We're seeing a lot of pictures with this one coming in right now. I don't know if I can show this. I can show this to you. I don't know if you guys can see this picture. I don't think you can. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see that a little bit. That's a tornado on the ground from one of the chasers. That's from the Weather Service, so we're allowed to share that with you guys. Just incredible stuff. I mean, this thing, it's dark. It's illuminated by lightning in the background. And it's a big storm, you guys. So again, Nasty, nasty storm in terms of this tornado here. And this is the same storm that produced that tornado multiple times back towards the west. Okay. It continues to behave that way. So this thing's going to continue to head out towards the east into Stark County or through Stark County. Hamlet, Grovertown are up next. Those are the two next areas that I'm worried about. Outside of that, all right, we've got our tornado warning, and that's really it right now, you guys. It's kind of quiet. I mean, it really is. We're waiting on that squall line. That squall line towards the west is quickly making headway into the west suburbs of Chicago. We've got heavy rain and strong winds in Naperville. This stretching down towards the Plainfield area. Joliet's next. And then on the southern fringe of this line, we still have tornado warnings with this. And I would imagine that's going to hold. So the way this is kind of going to go the rest of the evening, let me zoom out real quick. The way this is going to go, we've got our squall line here. That'll continue to work like this. Okay, so Lake County, areas of Porter County, we're not done. We've got a decent storm to get through here. Behind that, there are a few additional storms. I'm not overly concerned with a severe threat from this secondary line. There still are some severe storms, but they didn't really get the first one a whole lot. But we're really not in the clear until this front goes by, which is way back in here, okay? So we'll get the squall line, and then we'll see what happens after that. We may get a few storms outside of that. Once that squall line goes by, we're not quite done. It's going to be a stormy night. We kind of knew that going in to the area. So yes, I see a couple comments coming in. This one on our YouTube channel. Will there be more tonight in the Crown Point area? Yes, we're not done in the Crown Point area yet. AJ, in terms of the EF scale for this, it's too early to determine. We can look at it and think about what it is. The Weather Service has to get out and they have to survey these the next day. So they'll come survey it. They know what kind of damage different scales of tornadoes produce, and they can tell, hey, is the bark ripped off the tree? Is there ground scarring? This structure, how was it torn apart? They know the different levels, and so that's when they can estimate what it is. They'll do a path, they'll do a full survey on it, but we can't estimate what the EF scale is quite yet. All right, so we've got a big tornado on the ground. Now, the good news is it looks like it's starting to... Gosh, what was that? There was like a ripple of energy right here that went through. See that right there? There's like a wall that went through the system. I wonder if that was just a ripple of energy in the atmosphere that kind of took this thing up a notch as it went through. The atmosphere, remember, is fluid, folks. All right. I mean, it's all fluid and moving around up there. So you get all sorts of weird waves. Storms we talk about in the summertime produce outflow boundaries. You get all sorts of boundaries and waves off of things. But it almost looked like there was a kind of a ripple that went through this storm and maybe gave it a little extra juju to spin up that tornado a little bit stronger. Maybe that's when we saw those two. We saw those two areas of rotation that came back together. Let's go back to velocity product again. It's getting a little messier. That's good news. We want it to kind of disrupt itself. It's not quite as strong as it just was. I mean, look at this. This is when we had the powerhouse on the ground right in here, right there. We had a serious tornado that developed. And again, that's when that's when the velocity was the strongest. So it's usually on about a 5-minute delay where the velocity gets real strong. And then you see that actual product really thicken up on the ground. Good news is it's starting to weaken a little bit, but this is still a tornado that's on the ground and still causing all sorts of problems. I just don't see the rotation's not quite as tight of a couplet on that. But it's still decent enough to produce a large and dangerous tornado on the ground. All right, this is starting to get outside of the watch box or the polygon area. So I would imagine if they haven't already, they would reissue this and extend it. Let's see. So we've got obviously the emergency tornado warning for catastrophic damage with this. We know that's ongoing. Let's see what we've got here. 847. Okay, so this is the new one right here. So it continues for Central Stark County. Confirmed a large destructive tornado located over Knox, moving east at 30. Tornado emergency for City of Knox. PDS, we got all that. I mean, this is already occurring, so nothing new here. Other locations include the town of Brems. So that's what we've been talking about. Brems, you need to be in your safe place. Hopefully, you're already doing that. And, actually, it's beyond Brems right now. So that's a little outdated in terms of that update. Hamlet's up next. So Hamlet, Grovertown, even up to Coons Lake. This thing's starting to hook a little bit, and it's hooking more towards that boundary that we have. See that rotation there on that last couple scan? See how it's going like this, and all of a sudden it just does a little waffle there. And that's going to bring a little further north. And so maybe that's what the Weather Service is thinking about. How do we draw this polygon based on the latest movements? Doing a little bit of hook there. Oftentimes, when you get a storm that's super strong with a big tornado, you get a real strong pull into it. And so that will kind of change its trajectory, give it a little left hook, is what we're kind of seeing with that, where it was going kind of in a straight line. And now it's hooking left a little bit. All right. So that's going to bring it up into areas that still have the same environment, unfortunately. In terms of the atmosphere, we still have areas that are humid. We still have areas that are not worked over completely yet. Not that that's going to happen until after midnight. So we're getting up into the Hamlet area. Be in a safety place there. Hamlet, small community, but big enough to have some people that live there. And you need to be in a safe place. So get in your safety spot now. Basement, interior room. You get the idea. Grovertown, safe place, just in case. I mean, the storm's heading your way. It's done a little bit of a hook. It may end up doing this again, where it does this and then kind of straightens out. Up towards Coons Lake, make sure you are now in your safety spot as the storm continues to advance out towards the east. And then eventually it'll get out into perhaps the Walkerton, Tyner area. This is north of Plymouth. I know we were talking, someone was talking about Plymouth earlier. This storm is going to head north of Plymouth. Okay, that's what we're seeing right now. This thing's heading more north and east. And it's becoming a little bit more broad, but it's still a big, big tornado right now, at least the potential for that. I mean, this thing is so stretched out right here. This thing is huge right over Hamlet right now. Okay, new tornado warning coming out right now. Gosh, about time on that. Let's see what the latest has. Okay, so we've got our new tornado warning. New warning box is gonna pop up. I'm gonna guess something like this in here. We'll see where it goes. But this is now getting out of the polygon, so we need to do that again. Hamlet. This is the place that you need to be most prepared for a tornado right now, is in Hamlet. Grovertown is the other town on there as well. So there's that. Okay. So new tornado warning. This is for southwestern St. Joe County. This is for northeastern Stark County. This is right where we've got it in northwestern Marshall County. Okay, at 9:50 Eastern Time, 8:50 Central Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located over Hamlet or near Knox, moving northeast. It's now northeast versus east at 30. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Okay, it'll be near Hamlet and Coons Lake around 8:55. Walkerton around 10. Again, that goes from Central Time to Eastern Time. Walkerton 10 Eastern Time, Coons Lake and Hamlet Central Time 8:55. So that's in 3 minutes or so. And again, this is not a surprise. This is what we've been covering. So that is not new information for us. Okay. So storm is centered over the Hamlet area right now. This is our center of rotation. I did see the message that we can't see the towns on there. I totally get that. I've been trying to call them out as we can. Coons Lake, you're up next. Okay. Grovertown, you're up next after that. Walkerton, if this continues on that track, this would head into your area. We'll see. It is heading more northeast now. I have a feeling that it's going to start to hook back a little bit, but that would still take Walkerton into play with this. Okay. This storm has been a monster. All right. It's been producing a tornado at times all the way back to Illinois. Unfortunately, it looks like Knox and areas just out towards the west. We saw perhaps the biggest part of this storm as it moved through. Really problematic stuff, folks. Who's in Knox right now? And let us know you're okay. Let us know exactly what you've been seeing. B Ficus, absolutely. What a night. That's exactly what we've got going on. What a night is for sure. And I know a lot of you, and this is what I'm going to hear tomorrow as a meteorologist, a lot of you haven't seen much of anything yet. All right. And I get that. I hear that. That's how severe weather works. Okay. We don't get tornadoes everywhere. Not everyone sees wind damage, but we're not done. That's the other thing, is we're not done. All right. So here's our tornadic cell right now, getting into the northeastern half of Stark County right now. Okay, this eventually is going to get out into St. Joe County and Marshall County. I'm not going to cover it once we get there. That's outside of our area. There are some great stations in South Bend on the TV side that cover this stuff. So you can kind of pick up the coverage there. If you are watching region weather, obviously we're concerned about ourselves with the region, but outside of that, sometimes we get some people that watch outside the region too. So I understand that. I want to make sure you have a nice place to turn though. Okay. So your TV outlets there will have obviously some coverage for you, and you can follow the big wigs on social. Obviously they should have it covered as well. All right. In terms of this line coming in from the west, we had mentioned this earlier, the way this is going to go down. This has more of a damaging wind threat with it. All right, this is a squall line right here. And as this advances east, this will bring damaging winds and rain, at least a potential for damaging winds, into areas like all of Lake County. All right, all of Porter County will get this as well. And then we have to watch the southern flank of it. This will have a tornado potential with it. We have a tornado potential with this northern part. It's not very high, though. It's more linear, and we haven't seen it behave that way out towards the west. But this southern flank of it, where we've got this fresh inflow of air coming in from the south, that needs to be watched. And that will track through, again, you guessed it, our southern counties. So Newton, Jasper County, your tornado threat's not gone yet. Even for areas that are warm right now, which is a lot of area in areas of Lake, Porter, LaPorte counties, if you've got warm air outside still, if it's not 40 degrees, you still have a tornado potential, albeit it is slow or low with this line. This is more of a heavy rain and just decent thunderstorm that's going to move through. Beyond that, we've got a few more cells to deal with after that. These have a ways to go. And I would imagine they'll start to kind of decay a little bit and fall apart a little bit and become just kind of a big slug of rain. So I'm not overly concerned with severe weather, although there are some warnings with those right now out towards the west. I'm not overly concerned with our severe potential beyond that. Severe the rest of the night would be this right here. And then that would be about it. And then we've obviously got to get this storm out of here, this supercell. This is your classic, folks. This is your classic supercell storm. All right. We saw it from the get-go. This thing had the hook on it. It had the inflow coming in. It had the shield of rain going out ahead of it and hail. It had the hail core. And this thing just rotated. And it just rotated its way all the way through northwest Indiana. It's now getting out of Stark County right now. But again, this thing was a mess, and this caused some damage, and it continues to do so as this heads out towards the east. All right, I'm going to give this is almost out of Stark County right now. And I hate to say this, I'm going to leave you guys. All right. Again, those of you that have just joined or you're transient kind of coming in, getting a taste of it every now and then. I have a job on the TV side of things at NBC, and I'm a morning meteorologist. And I get up in just a couple hours. And so this is way past my bedtime right now. My goal is to keep you guys safe. And I don't do that for thank yous or anything like that. I just want you to know at some point I have to cut this off. And with these storms heading out of our area, getting a break before the next round comes in, I am going to leave you with that. Okay. So you're set up for success rest of the night. We do have, obviously, that line coming in with a wind damage threat primarily. There will be some hail, some high winds with it. But it's not nearly as bad as what we've been dealing with the storm down here. Okay. Make sure as you go into the nighttime hours that you have your phone charged just in case you lose power. All right. Make sure also you have your phone turned up. Make sure it's not on silent in case there's a warning, whether it be severe thunderstorm or tornado. You want to hear it. Okay. You want it to be able to wake you up if you are going to bed. So just make sure you do those things and you should be okay. We'll all make it out of it. Okay. Okay. So there's that. All right, final check here for our folks in Stark County before this storm is outbound. Rotation has changed a little bit. It's not quite as bad. It doesn't mean we don't have one tornado right now. Let's check in with a new radar and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, this has gotten better, guys. That's good news. I think this thing's falling apart. I really do. We still have the tornado warnings out for this. The new box didn't get drawn. It's on there, though. But this thing has really started to fall apart. Notice the last couple scans there near Hamlet. Ooh, I got the wrong thing on there. That's annoying. It's getting a little bit weaker. And I've changed radar sites now. So now we're getting a better read from the Northern Indiana radar. But probably still something on the ground or close to it getting into the Hamlet area. I'm not sure what the storm chasers are seeing. But overall, it looks like this thing's starting to weaken. And that's some good news. It may re-strengthen a little bit. Our environment out here, once we get into Stark County and into St. Joe County and Marshall County, it's not quite the environment that we have out towards the west that we've had. Doesn't mean this thing can't re-strengthen, but it does look like it's kind of doing its thing and kind of falling apart in terms of the tornado within that. Now, the reflectivity is still showing we've got a hail galore with this, and we still have heavy rain. But we're starting to lose. Maybe it's recycling a little bit. It could be wrong, but we're starting to lose kind of that look to it. Right in there. See how it's becoming more linear, more in terms of a line. So there's that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you go on that. You guys, I'm going to say my prayers tonight for those folks in Knox and all the people impacted by this devastating storm as it continue to head on out. Just one final recap for you guys. We do have Again, this line moving in. So we're not done with severe weather yet. There have just been severe thunderstorm warnings for wind out in advance of this and some hail, winds to 60. I don't think this is going to be earth-shatteringly bad, but this is going to be a decent line of storms that rolls through. Let me get the actual radar so we can get a good read of it. But this line will head in. We've got probably another 40 minutes or so for areas of western Lake County, but we're not done with the storms yet. And this line will roll through. It's going to take its time because we've got this southern appendage. Each storm's kind of moving this way versus due east. So it's going to take its time rolling through with some heavier downpours. And then we'll likely have more heavier downpours after that. They'll be scattered, but we're not done with the rain yet and the storms. And we could still pop some severe thunderstorm warnings, and we could still pop a tornado warning or two. I hate to say that, and I hate to not be there for that. But the best threat in my mind would be down towards the south again on the southern flank of this line where we have that fresh air coming in versus kind of recycled air off towards the north. Just kind of my take on that, okay? So, guys, do all those things, put all those practices into place, all right? I appreciate those of you that have been with me. We've been doing this for 2.5 hours straight. All right. My voice is shot. Hopefully we're good on the TV side of things tomorrow morning. But I do appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate the trust, number one. Number two, I appreciate your time. All right. Your time is valuable. I understand. I know we've got severe weather around here, but you're still spending time with me, and I do appreciate that. Couple side notes, regionweather.com is the place to go. We got daily email updates. I type them up and send them out every single morning. You can sign up for daily emails on there. It's not overwhelming. We just send you a daily email. That's it. Weekends, I often take time off too. Then the other thing, we're on the radio side of things at the office. If you listen to X-Rock 103.9, Indiana 105.5, and Z107.1, we've got obviously our region weather forecasts all day long on those. We do some chat back with the DJs as well. So some good times on there if you're listening at the office or on your way to and from work. Okay. All right. You guys stay safe tonight. We made it through. Areas that are impacted by this, again, survey teams from National Weather Service are going to go out probably tomorrow and survey it. And we'll get to know the exact results of all this. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Get some sleep. All right. All right.